Today's episode is brought to you by Clorox. When it counts, trust Clorox the same way we trust essential workers to provide the care they give to us. Families trust Clorox to give them a safe and protected home.
Our community heroes trust Clorox to keep places like hospitals and grocery stores disinfected. So I know I too can trust Clorox to provide my home with a safe environment at home we can all enjoy. So I have a story for you, Amanda. With Clorox, there's one thing I definitely use it for every single time before I step into my vanity van. I love the entire place disinfected because that's where I keep my makeup. That's where I get ready. That's where my clothes are. That's sometimes where I take a nap as well. So, I can use it all over like time of need. So, it's been really, it just keeps everything super clean and I feel super safe.
For me, it's important to share with loved ones and the public in general how they can give the most care for their loved ones, especially during times like these. I mean, with the pandemic going on, with COVID going on, it's just great to be extra sanitary with all the items that are around you, caring for others, and, just wiping down the door handle after you use the bathroom or wiping down
so important.
The toilet handle. Don't forget the toilet handle. So remember,
when it counts, trust Clorox.
At Zenni, we believe everyone deserves access to high-quality, affordable eyewear. That's why we offer stylish prescription glasses for men, women, and kids starting at just $6.95. Our online factory direct model cuts out the middlemen, so you save. At Zenni, you get the same quality frame and lens options that you'd get from an optician for 1/10 of the price, including blue blockers, progressives, prescription sunglasses, and more. The best part? Try on any frame, anywhere with our 3D virtual try-on. Zenni.com. Eyewear for everyone.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the annual Social Suplex FOH Draft. Jeremy Donovan here.
I don't. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because he said that he does the road dog thing, right? And then he does the angle because he's like, I forgot the number that this shit is on. But he's going with it, and then like I laugh because I'm unprofessional. I'm not as good at this thing as Jeremy. I'm sorry.
It's the fourth annual?
It's our fourth.
This is the fourth annual.
Fourth annual FOH Draft. Jeremy Donovan here with Rich Latta, James Boyd, and the young boy Josh Smith. Guys, we're here.
We are here.
I'm glad that James laughed because I was gonna go, let's get ready to suck it.
Wow. Social Suplex proudly brings to you the best damn podcast in the world.
Yeah, man. Put the kids to bed, not safe for work. This is one show of the year. If you guys have never heard the FOH Draft, if you're new listeners, if you are a big WWE main roster fan, it's probably not going to go well tonight. This is where we bury the universe, essentially. And we are enjoying beverages while we do this. It's our Christmas episode. And I guess we should get into what we're drinking. I saw James break out laughing. Why'd you laugh like that, James?
Because you're like, well, if you're a main roster fan, it's probably ain't the show for you. I was almost spat on my fucking laptop.
I mean, I think we're.
But it's more than the main roster this year.
We're broadening our horizons because 2020 has been a shit fest.
Man. Yeah.
Damn this virus.
Yeah.
Damn this pandemic.
Yeah, James is not even here in person.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about that part, but yeah, like I'm not a tough manly man like y'all. I'm sitting my pussy ass here at the house while y'all record. But yeah, it just this year left a lot of opportunity and made a lot of people make decisions that weren't probably for the best or were left people like scratching heads. And that includes places that we normally never have any questions with. So I think it's going to be a more fairly balanced year because nobody was perfect this year.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we should go around talk about what everybody's drinking.
Except for AEW, they were perfect. We're AEW shills now.
So I am drinking on the Angry Orchard, the hard cider, 5%. I'm on my third one right now.
Oh man, yeah, man. I have. Last year I thought it was a game with the White Claws, and the White Claws like put me down for the count, and like the next morning I was vomiting. So I'm switching back to Old Faithful, Old Reliable, that yak, Hennessy straight.
But Hennessy's like way more harsh than White Claws.
I'll explain. So the White Claws, I had no respect for the White Claws. Like I didn't worship the White Claw. Like I didn't do none of that. Like I thought the White Claw was for play. I thought it was for jokes. I thought I could hammer, 12 of them and be fine.
Bro, no one tries to drink 12 White Claws.
I know. And you saw what happened when I did that. So with the hen, I can take it slower. I can, I know what's coming with the Hennessy. I didn't know what was coming. Like it was a great unknown. Like, you see X, like who's on the Tokyo Dome, like that's gonna fight Jay White. X, that's what I was dealing with the White Claw. I was fighting X, and X kicked my ass last year.
Gosh.
So basically, it was Tanahashi and Okada at Invasion Attack.
Yes.
You got taken by surprise.
Yes. Caught me off guard.
I am drinking Wheatley vodka. It's 45%, I believe. I'm drinking it with it's a cocktail called the Madras. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Cocktail and or cranberry cocktail and orange juice. Mad good. I don't taste the alcohol at all.
See, I taste all the alcohol. James, what you on?
It's a normal staple for me and Rich's back in the day when we used to go do all the stupid stuff we used to do. You go to a gas station, you go to where they have their fountain drinks, you get one of their big cups, you fill it up with ice, you go get a 12-ounce Red Bull, you fill it up, and then you pour, and then with the remaining space you have, you fill the rest with whatever vodka you have. And that was me. I ended up doing that, haven't done that in maybe 7 years. I see why I haven't done it in 7 years. This is a mistake.
This was something we were doing every Wednesday before.
Every Wednesday.
But so we're getting started at 10 p.m. James, what time did you start drinking?
What was it, 8 something, or maybe it was before? Because I wasn't coming over there, and I guess I didn't communicate to y'all that I wasn't going over there. I figured y'all just knew I was coming, and then I was like, should I start drinking? And you're like, you're not coming. I'm like, no, I'm not coming. And then the show started a little later recording than we were supposed to, or than we planned on originally, because I think Rich it slipped his mind, he had forgot his headphones. And he was like, James, you just come through because I forgot my headphones. I'm like, fuck that. I can't drive over there. Gonna kill somebody?
Oh, my gosh.
So I guess we should explain how the FOH draft works.
Yeah, so we have a draft board of things that we want to,
shoot on.
Yeah, shoot on, bury, things that need to FOH, man. And so we'll all go around. I believe we're going to do 3 rounds this year. And we'll go around, and it was predetermined by the coin flip that I will get the first draft pick.
The coin flip, the same coin flip that the Four Horsemen always used in war games?
Yes.
Okay.
So we made sure a babyface went in first.
Oh, yeah, this is NXT.
So it's the NXT one.
Yeah. So I'll get the first draft pick, and then we'll work our way around the circle here. Anything else we need to explain before I reveal the first pick?
So the person that drafts will shoot, say their piece, and then the rest of us will have at it. And
at the end, we will tell it to get the fuck out of here.
That's right. So, all right, without further ado, the first pick in the 2020 FOH Draft is World Wrestling Entertainment's handling of COVID-19. Oh, shit. Man. This is the company that's out here getting awards for how they handle the pandemic. They're giving Triple H and Stephanie all these plaques for how they handle the pandemic when they absolutely did not handle this thing whatsoever in any good way. They're out here. First of all, they're firing people in the middle of the pandemic. They are on track for record profits already. But you know what? Guys? We gotta save more money. So we gotta fire some people. We gotta make up that extra revenue. So we gotta fire some people.
I think you're crossing into a whole
Yeah, I
other
think
one.
that's a whole nother one. But
well, I mean that's part of how they handled it. And then next thing you know, they're inviting family and friends into their little empty arena there, spreading the COVID around. The PC has pretty much become COVID Central. It should be the CC, COVID Central.
Yes, COVID Wrestling Center.
Yeah, it's like they weren't doing any testing. They were literally they are the top freaking wrestling promotion in the world, and they were not doing testing. Freaking AEW's doing testing. ROH just shut down. New Japan shut down. And when they did come back, they were all doing testing. Every other promotion that's been running has been doing testing. The Collective, they were doing testing. And you're telling me that Vincent freaking McMahon could not afford to do some COVID testing? Like, what the hell?
Vince was telling everybody, like, hey.
It's a hoax. Goddamn, pal. It's a hoax, pal. It's a gimmick.
It's like Vince was telling everybody, yeah, man, God is your bodyguard. Like,
So one funny thing that you forgot there, Jeremy, and you did a great job. Remember that they weren't letting the people wear the masks at all?
Yeah,
yes.
they had the PCers at ringside, and they were like, "No, y'all can't wear masks."
No. Also, you remember they didn't give them chairs? Y'all gotta stand up.
Y'all gotta stand for 3 hours while we tape this Raw. You gotta bang on this plexiglass.
Oh, that's great. We don't need masks. We have these plexiglass walls. They're gonna offer all the protection in the world.
I think the cardinal sin though is like the not testing and relying on hope. With all those old people they were still bringing in. They were bringing in Ric Flair. They had a lot of people on the roster at risk. Roman told them to go fuck themselves, and that was great. And Kyle O'Reilly went missing in action for a long time.
Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan.
The other thing too is like we know now that travel has become relatively safe as long as you follow like the PPE procedures. But early on we didn't know that, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we're gonna fly them in." And it's like they had no regard for like human safety or like protection or any of that shit. It's just really, really, really crazy in the early days, like how they handled the whole thing. Oh, and then one other thing, not letting any of their talents disclose whether they had even like gotten it or not. They've had like 3 outbreaks this year, probably more than any other wrestling company. Other wrestling companies have had outbreaks, but like they're not letting their people talk about it at all.
And then getting pissed when people reveal it. Renee Young, she went out there and revealed that she had COVID, and they were pissed at her for revealing that, and they were just trying to keep it all in, and not expose the business.
AJ Styles.
Oh yeah.
And then basically like right after he did, they were like, "Yep, all of your third party shit, we're taking it."
Yeah, man. So yeah, WWE just completely dropped the ball in handling COVID. It's supposed to be the number one wrestling promotion in the world and have all the top finances and resources, the best doctors and all this bullshit. But that wasn't the case here. They just, did their thing. They wanted, Vince just wanted to make his money, keep the show rolling. The show must go on, pal. And
and they talk about not living in fear and all this stuff. Well, WWE sure was scared that them television contracts are going to get pulled if they weren't producing, new episodes. And I remember during the early days of it, they would do things like replay the Royal Rumble match during parts of the show, and then they would come back to the empty arena, and it just it shined a light on all the stuff they did out of the ring that was terrible with how they handled it. But then like the product, like it showed their inability to adapt to anything at all.
What about the corruption with the Super PAC buy-off and everything like that?
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
yeah. They got themselves ruled as like essential like employees.
Yeah,
I had totally forgot about that.
That could have been a whole
topic itself.
But like we can. James, you haven't said much. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I haven't said much. I was scrolling through Twitter because I remember in the immediate aftermath of WWE coming up with whatever arbitrary rules they came up with that tried to have safety, but the safety was basically like, like using like a blown out condom. It was just like I remember specifically.
Yo, the Triple H super spray.
Yes.
The sword spray.
They had a super spray.
Yes, special spray.
Yeah, the sword piercing spray. Yeah. So I remember, they were doing temperature checks at 100.5 degrees to get in, and at the time when people were saying like they're doing checks, and like it was a conversation that was Sir Sam and Rance and me. And Rance and I was saying like, no, bro, you can't, like, there's, me, I was like, I've left my house like only for food, like literally only for necessities, like except for going to Rich's wedding and going to Rich's bachelor party this year, or since March 2020. So it's like, so for me, like all this wrestling that we've gotten this year, even though I think it's not as good as it was last year, I'm also with the grain of salt of like, well, yeah, like it can't be. There's no crowds. There's clap crowds. You can't really work to to peak in a certain way and all this other stuff. But anyway, like at the beginning of this, I was like, yes, the wrestling isn't as good, but like ultimately, like we shouldn't be getting fucking wrestling because we have to have people like interacting with each other. There's more than 10 people in the building, all this stuff, all the rules that we have given out to ourselves and all that kind of stuff. And then like WWE says like, yeah, even though this virus, you can go for like up to a week without showing any symptoms while still spreading it like a fucking vector, like Fox dying in Metal Gear Solid. that like they are giving temperature checks to 101.5 degrees or 100.5 degrees. I'm like, that's nothing. That's literally nothing. That's just a gesture. Like
you might as well like wand them down with like a security, like a metal detector. Right. It's the same shit.
Yeah. And then I was telling Rance like, bro, this is nothing. And like there should be no wrestling and whatever else. And I don't know, like we disagreed, and then like later when they had their first outbreak and it came out like they were doing no tests, he was like, I couldn't believe they were doing no tests. I was like, bro, I tweeted doing it. They were doing no testing. They were checking foreheads. That's not no fucking PCR test. I told you this.
They weren't doing them.
It was just like frustrating to see like people that want to see the wrestling. I don't blame them for wanting the things that they want or the things that are their pastimes, like it being inconvenienced because like they're isolated from whatever, or they can't do normal life is is put on hold for now, and like you just want to just have whatever thing you used to fall back on. I understand that, but like you're putting people at risk, and like this year for WWE, for anybody that wrestling, regardless of even New Japan did it so well, Stardom did it so well, Ring of Honor did it so well. Unless you have a bubble, there's really no real surefire way to do this.
My biggest thing with it, and it's kind of reiterating some of the things Jeremy said, is like there's no perfect way to have handled this because there's a lot of like blind spots when it came to this, especially early on. Yeah. But ultimately, when you think of all the things that could have been done, testing was the number one thing. Even if it's not perfect, it's the number one thing. And when you look at WWE, the company with the most resources, the most financial ability to do something about this, to ensure the protection of their performers, the people that would attend the shows, every single worker in the building, everything like that. And like they did do some things, they kept people apart, they did social distancing. That was not enough. Right. And it's like the fact that you guys couldn't scrounge up enough money for the tests when like Tony Khan could do it, Gato did it.
Big bicep Tony.
Everybody else did it. And it's like, that should have been the bare fucking minimum. And I don't understand why they didn't have someone in the company that could just like talk to, I mean, bro, look at Dana White, Dana White was a guy who's in the set. He's conservative, just like Vince. He doesn't believe in this shit, but they handled probably better than almost any other major sports outlet out there because they did good testing and they put people in a bubble.
And to go with your point, Josh, at first Dana White was way worse than Vince was to start off, and then eventually he had a came to Jesus moment, and then it changed. And we talk about the politicization of your your fear or the way you want to handle COVID or whatever else. Let's not fool ourselves. Like Sinclair owns Ring of Honor. If they handle this, they knocked that out the park. All year.
It's like they want to be an industry leader until it's time to lead the industry.
And even now, they're still having slip ups. They're
still having outbreaks.
They have fans in their CWC
coaches.
Center.
Bro, they just had an outbreak. Literally,
right,
did you see this news story today?
Yeah, because they're testing fans like the day before.
And then letting them go out.
Right, and then they pass the test, and then they're going out to bars, they're going to parties, and then going to the PC the next day.
Shout out to NXT United.
Josh. Jeremy.
Yes.
Can you imagine? I don't know how much NXT y'all have watched or whatever since they moved since Takeover 31 when they moved back to the PC. But if you saw the level of enthusiasm that like their fans have that are in person that bang on the plexiglass and the fences, you'd be like, this y'all wasting money on testing to let these people come out here and half-assedly push. They don't even slap the bam on. They just push. It is like once they put in their own version of Terror Dome, they don't even need the fans. They really don't. But they bring them in anyway, and then like for somebody to get sick in that way is like, wow.
Yo, if I was a fan at the NXT or at the CWC or whatever it's called, I wouldn't touch nothing there. I wouldn't touch those fucking plexiglass.
I wouldn't be there.
Right.
I wouldn't be there.
Like,
I don't know.
The masks work to what percent, it's debatable, but like masks do work, it helps medical workers. My girlfriend works in the medical profession, but it's like, if you're touching these plexiglass walls that all these infected people are touching and then you're wiping your eyes, you don't need a mask. You're going to get the shit anyway. So it's like, it's a bad idea. It's stupid.
So,
yeah, WWE's handling of COVID-19
can get the fuck out of here.
Man, this feels good.
All right, so second pick of the first round's going to go to Rich.
Yeah, man. You touched on it a little bit. I still think there's another angle to prove how disgusting and vile these people are. But with the second pick in the fuck out of here draft, I will select WWE firing people in a pandemic. These people not only were disgusting in the way they did this, I think they waited till like a Friday afternoon to do it like a big news dump, and it was coming out all day, if I'm not mistaken. They, as Jeremy mentioned, were making record profits all year due to the inflated TV contracts. These were targeted releases for people that have had previous discussions with the company about contracts, whether they wanted to be released or WWE just quote unquote felt like they didn't have to honor their contracts like Gallows and Anderson. Nobody told y'all to offer them $750,000, Shawn Michaels money. Like, no one told y'all to do that. So it proved that not only something about that we've all known about Vince for a long time. If you think about it, going back to the screw job, if Vince McMahon signs a contract with you, only you have to live up to it. So they fired all these people during a pandemic, knowing there was no wrestling for them to go to. There was no indie scene.
Yep.
There were 90-day compete clauses on those contracts. They were firing people that were risking their lives to commute there. Like, No Way Jose taking pictures of himself on the Amtrak in the airport, talking about, yeah, I'm on my way headed to Raw. Friday, he's released. Like, this proved that not only are they a heartless corporation, it's like they did all this not even to save money. They did it to save percentage points. This was disgusting. There was no other company for long periods of time that was firing people during the pandemic. I believe some of the people that couldn't travel from the UK happened in AEW a lot later into the pandemic. WWE off the rip was like, no, we need to get rid of like 20 people, and you notice the people they fired, it was no one they really wanted to use. So it was amazing. It was like, well, where was Lars Sullivan here? Like, where was, anyone else worth a damn? But as I mentioned, this was targeted and this was disgusting.
Yeah, very, very disgusting. Like you mentioned, Rich. So one angle here is the fact that prior to this, they were hoarding talent. And
yes,
there were people that were, like you mentioned, that were very unhappy and wanted out of their contract, wanted to leave, and asked for their releases prior to this. And they were saying no. They're locking everybody up because they didn't want anyone to go work for AW or New Japan or any other major company. Suddenly, travel restrictions come into place. There's a worldwide pandemic, and they realize there's nowhere for them to go. Now they're commodities that we can get rid of. And the reality is here from a financial standpoint, there was two things that they did. The only reason they really released these people wasn't because it really saved them that much money.
Percentages.
What saved them a lot of money was them, quote unquote, stopping their production of building a new headquarters, so that when they could go to the shareholders, they said, we saved, I don't remember what it was, X hundreds of millions of dollars, but 85% of it was them stopping their production on their own building. Mm-hmm. The other small percentage was all the layoffs, but they needed to show a measured response to the shareholders so that their stocks wouldn't drop. And so they took all these workers, all these people that were dedicated. And then remember too, they had a bunch of people that they fired, but still had coming back to work dates with them too.
Yeah, like Sarah Logan.
And then Drake Maverick's crying on Twitter and cutting promos, and they turn it into an angle after, and the whole thing feels fucking weird.
Right. And you have long-term employees like Mike Chioda, Tony Chimmel, who've been with the promotion for 20, 30 plus years. My good friend Mr. Briscoe, Joe Briscoe, getting released, who's been one of the top talent scouts for the promotion for several years now. And it's like all these long-term employees just out of nowhere. See ya.
Yeah,
James is disgusted. He doesn't have words. He's never left speechless.
Just the tactical part of it you talked about, the people with Rusev and Leo Rush, and and it was okay, so now that these places, there's no the hiring phase is kind of at a standstill. Now you want to throw these people out into the wilderness, and it's these people asked to be let go from you and be away from you months ago, but now it's perfect time. And another part about it, when Josh mentioned the them not building a new building or whatever, I was another part of it is they're making more money than ever before because they don't have to rent buildings right now.
Yeah.
So it's there's also that part. It's when you talk about the layoff thing, and it was so infuriating hearing the bootleggers defend this shit, and it's y'all, even people that I know to be anti-capitalist, and then once it turns to WWE, it's oh no, Vince just had to let these people go. He was going to be living out of house or home. Yeah. He would have been living in a crack den. It's just
he's a fucking billionaire.
Get out of here, bro.
He just love the taste of the boots.
All that layoff stuff doesn't even put a dent into them not having to rent buildings for house shows and for TV and satellite uplinks and all of that. It's just think of the deal they got for the Thunderdome. Just think of it.
Yeah. I've been listening to WrestleNomics and also other podcasts for years that have been saying there's really literally no financial reason to keep doing the house shows whatsoever, because it's literally been a black hole. And we remember earlier, a couple quarters ago, Vince coming out to the shareholders saying he had a plan to turn around. Never, the plan was to stop him. But there are financial analysts who are wrestling fans who've been coming out here publicly for literally years now saying you guys should just stop doing the house shows. The reason they never stopped doing the house shows wasn't because they couldn't afford to not do it. It's because all the talent's contracts are completely based off of them working
That
those
archaic
dates.
system.
It's an
Yeah.
archaic system. They don't want to cut them in on the TV deal. They don't want to cut them on the network deal. So they have to keep this
Merch.
Yeah, and the merch.
They only want to give them a small percent of merch.
Yeah, and so that's the deal. Is like the only reason they really kept the house shows around for so long was because they were trying to find a way to justify underpaying the talent, and now they don't have to.
And also, they did a lot of charity work on the house shows.
That too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand there is this capitalistic sort of like viewpoint where people say, well, they're going through a pandemic. They had to make some cuts. This is just what's necessary. Well, A, it wasn't necessary. We found that out later. But B, no other company in the entire industry did this, and every single one of them is, I don't know, at minimum 16 times smaller from a revenue standpoint, or and that would be AEW. Aside from them, most of them are maybe 100-fold smaller. And
AEW, they were signing people in a pandemic. How many people got signed in the last several months? New Japan didn't have to let anybody go. Ring of Honor didn't have to let anybody go. Impact Wrestling, MLW, like literally any promotion that's been running did not have to let anybody go.
Stardom signed people in the pandemic.
And they got that Bushi Road money.
Yeah, Stardom getting everybody. Absorption,
They got that Sugabayashi money.
You got talent, leave your promotion. Tell them you're going on excursion,
Especially if you're in Tokyo Joshi Pro or Agres Girls.
So
this is just something that's like, it's indefensible. I understand why some people might have tried to defend it early on, but as time has gone on, it's proven that they didn't need to do this. It was really a disgusting business tactic. It shows that this "we're a family" bullshit
was bullshit.
It is not real. It is literally like mindfuckery at the highest. It's cap. It's just fucked up.
Stop the cap.
Yes.
Stop the cap.
So
and another clear example of trickle down economics being bullshit.
Yes. So for WWE firing people in a pandemic, you can get the fuck out of here.
All right, so now it's time for the third pick in the first round goes to the young boy.
Okay. So, I was told I needed to draft a certain thing. If I didn't draft it, I'd be fucked up. And I told Rich I was going to go with my heart, and I was going to drink some more and see how I felt. But I probably should just start here. Now, let's be serious. This particular thing I'm about to draft, it's not as it's more of a kayfabe thing based, more so than the two things that Rich and Jeremy drafted. But
we got a lot. There's a mix of stuff in here.
There's a mix. So let me go ahead and draft as the third pick in the first round. Evil winning the IWGP double title championship for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
So, and people that listen to our show probably have been tired of me ranting about this, but I feel like I've been pretty docile ever since maybe say like August, since Jingu Stadium. I really haven't said shit. But I'd like to ask people who were really advocating for this, who really thought it was a good idea, who thought it was gonna like make stars. How about it now? When you talk about the IWGP title, it is the most prestigious wrestling title for the most probably respected wrestling company in the world today. And it's something that, like, unless you were of an upper echelon, you didn't win it. And they decided to go ahead and put this shit on Watanabe Evil. And, they told people that it was going to, be this great thing, that it was like, or people were basically speculating that it was going to be, this star-making thing. And, hey, you know what? I understand the rationale behind it. I've had the debates and everything, but ultimately, you picked the wrong guy.
It's fucking Watanabe.
You made us sit through Evil versus Naito four fucking times this year.
Oh my gosh.
And I can guarantee you, okay, you know what? They might have gotten away with it a little bit because we were in an era where we had limited capacity crowds, right? But ultimately, I guarantee you, if we had been at full capacity crowds and we had to see Evil come out there and stink up the joint 4 times with Naito, and then see Dick Togo come out there with the Groat Wire and choke his ass 4 times, this shit would not have drawn in all those houses. It for sure wouldn't have. It would have been a business downturn for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm telling you, I implore you, New Japan, do not continue to push this guy. He's a good little hand. He's great as a tag team worker. He can have awesome never wars. He should have never touched the prestigious IWGP titles. It should have never happened. It was a big, big, big mistake. It has literally been something that, like,
a black eye.
It's been a black eye for the company. And people that are listening and disagree with this, go watch the matches. Go look at the ratings. Go watch the matches. Go look at the cage match ratings. Go look at the grapple ratings. Go look at the business numbers. I guarantee you that this guy's not a star. It didn't make him into a star. It had people scratching their heads. When you have Ishii, Ishii, Ibushi, Shingo, Suzuki. I mean, I could go on and on. Will Ospreay. You got
Yoshihashi.
Yoshihashi had a better year than Evil. I'll let you guys have at it.
Man, and a lot of our listeners, now's a perfect time to experiment because it's COVID. You can try wacky things. All right, what's the experiment? You want to see if this guy can draw. Well, you can't test that experiment because there's no fans, or there's half the fans, and they're just desperate to see action. So you can't attribute the half full Korakuen Hall crowd to Evil on top. Yes. So there is no experiment to test here. You are literally killing your diehard fan base who came here for the Okada Tanahashi, the Okada Omega, the Shingo Suzuki, the Shingo Ishii, the Ibushi Tanahashi. That's what we're here for. And now you're bringing out this mid-card tag wrestler to put him in the main event. You're bringing out 50-year-old Dick Togo in the Garrote Wire. Like, this is not what New Japan is about, man.
This pissed me off so much in real time. Back-to-back nights, he stunk out the joint with Okada. He stunk out the joint with Naito, and we're gonna get to Mr. Naito later. In this love fest with the LIJ stands that have just felt like this was okay. This was of the same standard that 2019 has been, 2018, 2017. No. This was some other shit. And I don't believe that this thing, like, Gato decided, we're going to get some heat, but the people can't even make any fucking noise. So, like, what's the fucking point?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not accepting 3-star or less matches in my IWGP title matches. Go to hell. I don't.
And they forced the dude to have like 45-minute epics
yes!
every single time. Like, let's go down the list real quick, just as a quick study. Okada's previous reigns, all better. Jay White's previous reigns, all better. Tanahashi's reigns, all better. Kenny Omega's reigns, all better. AJ Styles' reigns, all better. Kojima, Makabe, Nakamura, Nakanishi, Muto, all better. You literally have to go back to like 2002 when they were in the Dark Ages to find Tadao Yasuda, or go back to like 04 to find Bob Sapp before you find someone that had this shitty a reign at the top. James, what do you got to say?
This is Mahalian.
Oh, it is genderish.
What I will say is that I fucking hated all of this. It was just like, for who, for what, and then like you knew how it was gonna turn out. Like, you just knew that the shit was gonna work. Like, even like Evil on his best day, like his best matches would barely be enough to get him over. And then they set him out there and they had him go out there and have them those bullshit ass matches. Like, when we do the award show for One Nation Radio this year, and we have the Put Him in a Coffin award, like, Evil will be, at least if there are more than one representative, I don't know, but he will definitely for sure be the representative of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't like. I can't tell you how infuriating it was when I went on that binge watch of watching like the last 13 or 14 shows of the G1 in like 3 days, and to have to go through that fucking B block and to get through Evil's Evil and Yano's bullshit. And like it was like I remember specifically like watching night 13 of the Grand I always mix up the Grand Prix and G1 of the G1 and just being like, that's an incredible show. This is like my favorite New Japan show of the year. This is awesome. Like all these matches were fucking awesome. And then to get to that B block and to watch Evil's bullshit again, I'm just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't want. And like they had another one of their bullshit matches, and I was watching at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., maybe even 5 a.m. I was fucking furious. Like I was like, I don't want to watch it do ever again. Like I don't care how they revamp this, whatever else. Fuck him. Fuck that whole act. Fuck all that. Burn it down. Light a match.
I got 3 things, and I'll let you guys have it, and we'll move on. So, people have been begging for New Japan to give new people new, opportunities.
Not him.
They've been begging New Japan to try new things, but I can't remember the contingency of fans that were like, Evil should be the IWGP champion before this started. Number 2, I can't remember in the last decade when anybody that in the same calendar year was the IWGP champion had so poor a G1 Climax run as Evil Watanabe. Number 3, there has not been probably in a decade, a time when someone was not just the IWGP champion, but also the double champion, both the IC and the IWGP title holder, and didn't even register as a Wrestler of the Year candidate, didn't even merit discussion. Anybody with a semblance of credibility would never say, you know who should be the Wrestler of the Year or who should be mentioned based off merit? Evil Watanabe. Nobody can possibly say that. That tells me right there everything you need to know about his run. You guys have at it. We'll move on.
I got one for you. Evil was so bad in this role that it screwed up what was, if you take away all the Evil shit, all right.
A great year.
Naito run. Like, the Evil stuff, if you just separate it and say, all right, look at Naito's G1, and then look at like all the stuff he did. Like the only thing you point to would be like, I don't like that. Is really like the Kenta stuff. Like his G1 was good, except for when he had to fuck around with this idiot.
Yeah.
And the one last thing I'll say, a lot of people are like, well, it's a Bullet Club. They're heels. They cheat. Prince Devitt was a heel. had great matches. AJ Styles was a heel, leader of the Bullet Club. Had great matches. Kenny Omega was a heel, leader of the Bullet Club. Had great matches. Jay White, I know a lot of people are questioning about him, but he's had some great matches. I have not seen Evil have any match that's come close to Jay White's heights yet. So it is possible to be a heel and leader of the Bullet Club and have great matches.
Don't wrap it up in this storytelling bullshit. Like we've already on One Nation Radio got to the bottom of people just blanketly, blindly throwing storytelling over sorry wrestling
moments.
That's it's not gonna fly. It's an embarrassment to the IWGP Championship. Looking at all the dudes who haven't sniffed it, will never sniff it, and the people that went through hell to get to it. I know wrestling's not a meritocracy. Decisions were made for whatever reason. People will probably hear this and be like, well, what about Evil? He's kind of big domestically. I don't give a fuck. Are you a worldwide company or not?
No, not even that, right? Yes, if you want to say he's a certain draw domestically, sure. Is he bigger, doing bigger business for the company than Hiromu Takahashi? No. Is he doing bigger business than Shingo Takagi? No. Is he doing bigger business than Sonata? No. All these people had to go to the back of the seat. They're in his own faction. They smoke his ass for the past 2 years, and he's the one that becomes the champion. And it's like, what are we doing this for? Seriously, did they really think that this was actually going to make him into some type of star?
They had 15 guys on the roster at heavyweight they could have picked for this role, and it all would have been better than this.
I blame the LIJ stands for thinking this is okay, because I have a feeling like they were not happy 2 years ago when Cody had to fight Kenny Omega a bunch of times, and I'll take that any fucking day over Evil versus Naito.
We've got Survivor Series '93 going on in the background. We've got the Hart Brothers versus the Shawn Michaels Knights match. I love this match. But anyways, to Evil winning the double titles, you can get the fuck out of here.
All right, so for the last pick in the first round,
the Rocket,
James Boyd, it's on you, man.
Yeah, for me, this was one of the most important things of 2020. And it would be getting all of the speaking out perpetrators the fuck out of here. Keep in mind, like, everybody has a different list of people because it's so expansive and so thorough. But Travis Banks, Matt Riddle,
Marty Squirrel,
Joey, what's his face?
Joey Ryan.
There's so many. There's literally
there's so many. Like, y'all can chime in with whoever y'all that comes to mind. 'Cause there's so many of them. But those are the ones that need to stick out to mind. Like, in this year when wrestling was down and we got what we got and we made the best of it. Like, to see the number of just terrible people that were just in the business after, like, for years, listening to the Dave Melsons of the world and the what's his name? Does the pro wrestling sheet? Not sheet, but the torch.
Wade Keller.
Wade Keller. Bruce Mitchell. Whoever that's been doing dirt sheets or whatever else for the past 20, 30 years, talking about how much this business cleaned up. Meanwhile, we have literally serial rapists amongst us. Pedophiles, child molesters,
groomers
in this business, and how did they fool you? Because they smile and they're nice.
Yeah,
it's in front of your face. And, like, I'm not saying that this is anybody's fault or whatever else, but, like, to go from it being such a covert thing to where, like, you can't trust anybody in this business. Even though we already really knew that, because, like, this business just isn't any different from actual reality. But, like, all of this stuff is people knowing things or whatever else, and then letting it slide because they have positions of power of connections, and people have been allowed to let this shit slide until someone said, you know what, during this time when all this shit's going on and people are, kind of like stir crazy, we can get some people out of the paint. They were able to do so. And, like, you just know, like, that this isn't all of them. Like, there's still Velveteen Dreams and Austin Theories that still need to be the fuck up out of here.
Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, Jordan Devlin's another one.
What's the one tall dude from Evolve?
Briggs. Josh Briggs.
Josh Briggs, motherfucking pedophile.
Yeah.
Didn't he just get signed?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Austin Theory did too. Pedophile.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, like, do I even want to watch this anymore? Like, because every time, I mean, especially when you fucking turn on WWE, because they don't want to fire anybody, thinking, like, maybe AEW will sign this pedophile. It's just, it's like, all of this is like, while this is on my screen, I'm just like, can I watch this or should I watch this? Like, if there's no other place, any other, medium of entertainment I can watch where, like, this doesn't occur. There's fucking, Weinstein produced movies that I loved. There's Kevin Spacey and stuff. It's like, damn, bro, like, this is another part of, like, what sucked so much about 2020 is, like, we had so much, we all had to basically, like, isolate ourselves and do whatever else. And there's another part where it's like, this sucks for me. And also, like, think about, like, the people in this industry that, like, have been ruined forever or ruined and turned away from this thing that they once loved because of the assholes that were in charge had, like, a little bit of an advantage in a power dynamic. And, like, this changed people's lives for the negative. It just fucking sucked.
A lot of sad stories that stand out. For me, I mentioned on One Nation Radio, like the Travis Banks and Millie McKenzie one was just, like, heartbreaking. When you think about, like, her being, like, this was her trainer, her being underage and him being with her for years and years and years, and the mental torture he was putting her through, threatening to kill himself outside her hotel bedroom. Just, like, y'all know the stories. Y'all can go look them up. But that one in particular for me was just like, you fucking disgusting shithead. Like, leave the business. I don't ever need to watch you wrestle. And it showed that wrestling, as much as it's different from everything else, actually isn't. Because, like, this happens in, you know, everywhere. Like, and you never know with who it might be. And it was really sad to see, like, a lot of the women performers, like, you know, just speak about their experiences and drop those screenshots with the real proof. And then to see some of the response that they got for it, too, sucked, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems here. You had problems with trainers, promoters, agents, producers, people that were in power who were grooming people, who were leveraging their power to get people to do things. You know, the dynamic between fans and the performers, the dynamic between people who saw things happening but felt that they couldn't ever speak out or say anything to defend the victims for fear of, you know, what would happen if they were to do that, you know, because, you know, this person's a superstar and they might blacklist them, or this person might, you know, have reprisals against them or whatever. Like, it was truly, truly disgusting. And you know what? There were so many stories, and there's all sorts of different scenarios and situations. And not everything was corroborated, but like, the problem is, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when there's so many stories and there's so many incidences, there's gotta be a deep-seated issue within an industry that allows this sort of thing to happen, and allows this thing to happen to the people that love it the most, the people who are giving up their lives and their bodies to be part of it, only to be repaid with, you know, rape and you know, backbiting talk, and their careers and their livelihoods ruined and their reputations ruined. It's really just fucking sick.
Yeah, you know, you got this whole mindset of protect the boys, protect the business. And for a long time, that's what we saw with these stories that are coming out, that there's a lot of situations where promoters were protecting people, trainers were protecting people. And we just saw it all come out. You know, David Starr was the catalyst of this. Yeah. That was the thing that kind of kicked it off. And then we saw the Jimmy Havoc's.
What was the Chikara guy?
Matt Quackenbush. We saw a whole promotion, Chikara, and any promotion that has brought a lot of great stars like Cesaro and Daniel Bryan and Brody Lee and Eddie
Jackson,
Kingston.
Kota Ibushi.
Almost anybody in the industry that you know now, like, spent some time there.
Right, until that whole promotion went down. Then you had Joey Ryan, your Michael Elgins, David Christ. You know, you had Dave Lagan from NWA. He was literally the right-hand man of NWA, and leaving there. You know, we had the whole Will Ospreay situation. We talked about Skrull. You have the Jay Lethal situation, which is something that's been brought up before in the past and was brought up again. And then we had Joe Coffey, Jack Gallagher, Jordan Devlin, Matt Riddle, Travis Banks, Wolfgang, Ligero, Velveteen Dream. You had referees, Austin Theory. Like, it just went on and on and on, even down to the very bottom of local indie scenes. We saw
Brian Idol.
Yeah. Oh my God, Brian Idol.
Fucker. Yeah, that story, and you know, I don't know if that ever got corroborated, but that was one of the most sickening stories I read, was the Brian Idol story. Like, yikes. Really fucked up. And like, you know, the UK scene deserves a special mention here, because so many of those names you just listed were from the UK scene. And
shit is different out there.
There was the whole, you know, culture of having these after parties where everybody would congregate and they would be serving underage girls shit and, you know, basically, you know, putting them in a bad situation. And it was all like very intentional, you know. Mm-hmm. So many underaged children, let's call it what they are, children, mm-hmm. who are being trained by these grown adults, and then, you know, being set up to have sexual relations with the trainers, with the top guys in the gyms. I mean, it's really sickening.
See, it even trickled down to wrestling websites. We had Brandon Stroud with spandex on Uprocks. That whole thing having to be shut down and him getting out of there. So literally every...
I didn't even know about that.
Every aspect of the professional wrestling business was affected by this whole speaking out movement.
Well, another one that you mentioned, the UK scene, like we already touched on the Millie McKenzie thing, but like another story that like really like one of the ones out of the UK that fucked me up the worst was like the Callum Newman story. Like my first time ever seeing him wrestle was actually on that COVID show that had the B Priestley versus Ospreay intergender match against David fucking Starr of all people. And then this comes out. David Starr is one of the biggest offenders that gets outed in this as a scumbag. And then like Callum Newman tells you, oh yeah, like I actually got molested by my trainer when I was coming up as a young kid, because he's only like I don't even think he's 21 yet, or he just turned, or he's 21 this year. It's like, fuck, man, like this dude got taken advantage of, and then like his big break for probably the biggest break of his career at this point in time is that match against David Starr, and it's against another fucking sex pest. It's just like, damn, bro, like that just has to suck. Just has to suck.
Another one that like sticks out to me is the Keith Lee story. Keith Lee talked about being like date raped and drugged by a fan. And that's someone like, there's a stigma against men speaking out against things that have happened to them. And, it wasn't just all sexual based stuff. Some of it was verbal. Some of it was physical abuse. There was mental abuse, all sorts of like just people getting manipulated and used and I mean, it's just dirty, dirty stuff. And I mean, like that, I guess some of this is human nature, but like the fact that it's been allowed to fester and thrive in this carny business is really fucked up.
Yeah, the one that hurt me too was Marty's girl. I was a big fan of Marty. Met him at the ROH meet and greet, something like 2019, and then sort of coming out him taking advantage of a 16-year-old girl and never denying it, saying it was consensual, despite
that's not the point.
Yeah, that was a whole hot mess, and Ring of Honor, quote unquote, launching an investigation.
We never get back to that. We ever hear on the results of this investigation?
Listen,
is it still along with the investigation on Bubba Ray out here harassing that fan? Is it still just under investigation and it'll never come out?
Bro, it's worse than that. We're still waiting on the Jay Lethal investigation with him and
Taylor Hendricks.
And Taylor Hendricks from like 3 years ago. We never heard shit back from that.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be on it soon.
Yeah, and there's rumors of Marty being backstage at Final Battle tonight.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be at the tapings, and I mean. Like, I know not every single story that happened here is 100% true. But the fact of the matter is that there's so many people that were willing to go out there and
ain't that many people lying,
face the backlash of their name being tarnished, all these crazy stands who like attacked them, and they didn't get any kind of monetary benefit from it. I'm sure like their social media is not popping from it or any shit like that. Like it does make you wonder. Are all these people willing to lie, for some sort of like 15 minutes? It doesn't seem like it, because that's not what people are getting out of it. The fact is the majority of these people were speaking out so that they could have their story be told and so people could know the issue and maybe do something about it. And one last thing I'll say, and you guys can, go. WWE, yeah, they did handle a couple of the low-level performers that got outed or
admitted it to them.
Or admitted it. But, like, they didn't do shit about Velveteen. They didn't do shit about Matt Riddle. And those are two of the biggest names that they had on their
Austin Theory, Jordan
Secret
Devlin.
Suspensions.
Yeah.
So, we can throw it back to James.
Yeah. All these fucking speaking out sex pests and get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, so are we doing a snake order for this draft?
I mean, I don't know. We can. I mean,
James, you got any? You do another one?
I mean, it's up to y'all. I don't care. Whatever y'all want to do.
I don't care either.
Yeah, I don't care.
All right. Yeah, let's do snake. So for the first pick in the second round,
Jeremy
James
wasn't ready.
I could go. I just didn't know if we were doing snake or not. So
go ahead, James.
Yeah, so James, you get the first pick in the second round of the 2020 FOH draft.
All right, All right, now that I got the most important thing out, I guess I'm gonna go to. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Ain't it?
Just Blanchard.
Because I'm trying to think of like what's ultimately more problematic and what infuriated me more during the year. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go with it. NXT. If you want no BS, this is where you come. This is what you come to watch.
I'm gonna go get another drink.
I didn't expect that.
I mean, it's only before this year. NXT was probably, over a long period of time, my favorite run of television of professional wrestling. Like from the I think it's New York 3 or New York 4. From New York 4, so that's August of 2018. Up until this day, I've watched every single episode of NXT. I have loved it. It has had incredible matches. It has had incredible moments. It has had incredible character development and character story arc. And then it gets pulled off the network when it was a 1-hour show with no commercial breaks to be a 2-hour show with commercial breaks. And because of the pandemic and the lack of signing new people, has become completely gutted out and soulless. Basically, if you want to say that before we even really knew it, like the end of the era and the downfall of it was like once they got to Portland. Portland was an incredible show. It was one of the best shows of the year. They had, and don't get me wrong, they had another show that it's also one of the best shows of the year in TakeOver 31. But the real defining end of the chapter where like they got the TV on USA Network. They had a plan. They got through all what their plan was to get to this certain destination, and the jump started off. And like that's literally like where the chapter ends, and then they go into what they wanted to be the takeover for WrestleMania show, and there ain't no WrestleMania, so those matches have to get off on TV, and you know whatever they planned on really doing to finish off Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Wow,
Gargano and Ciampa.
Whatever they were originally going to do, whether it was going to be a real match, considering that all the matches they had done before had been garbage, or not garbage, but no DQ type
Plunder brawls,
or the varying degrees of great. They went with this cinematic thing, and you could barely see any of it. It was overlong. It was just it just at a certain point turned into just being numb of watching people whack each other with shit and hurting each other.
They were holding each other's hands.
Yeah. And then you have all these other miscalculations that have to do with either just flat out incompetence or just like literally trying to counter program. And the first thing they said was like, we're not going to counter program. And ultimately, like the show got dumber. It lost its sense of self. It's constantly in a state of flux of trying to set tables, which Triple H is good at, but like you keep setting these tables, but the tables get set, and then all of a sudden, like you never get a state of homeostasis where it's like you're just constantly like your head is rolling and spinning up over the new possibilities every 3 fucking weeks, and not in a good way. And like I just can't believe that like and especially with the pandemic coming, I can't believe that like AEW has broken this fucking thing this way, this easily. It's still a good show most weeks, but it's like it used to be a great show most weeks, and like that's the part that like really hurts because like AEW is great most weeks, and it's like if you were not trying to do this fucking dick measuring contest with this thing and just did what you used to do, you could compete. Now it's in your head and your confidence is fucking shook, and you're constantly fucking shaking the snow globe, and it's like, hey bro, like I can't make heads or tails of this.
It's like a boxer that's been knocked out, and then they're going back to continue their career, but there's just something not right with them. Like they forever are susceptible they always think a right hand's coming, so they're constantly on their toes. They are further exposing themselves. As I've long said, this NXT is a scam, like the way it's set up with the Performance Center. Now we're getting the news of the NXT for NXT, which is fucking hilarious.
You mean Evolve?
Yes.
He held the NXT.
I had forgot about how bad they fucked the Gargano Ciampa thing at the end. I know Josh could probably go all day on that, but
I hate that match.
They did so much weird stuff when they're talking about. You know what they remind me of, James? It reminds me of the LA Clippers. When they're trying to brand themselves as the rough, gritty show, like the LA Clippers were trying to cast themselves as the antithesis of the Lakers this past season. They're the real LA. They represent the working LA. And NXT basically calls their shot. And they're with these commercials, these fuck the main roster commercials, these fuck AEW commercials. If you don't want any BS, come to this show. But we have fucking Dexter Lumis and the Ghostface Killers running around this motherfucker. Like, what are they doing? Pat McAfee. Like,
not even that, right? Like, there was a show in the last month where like the 3 matches in a row had fuck finishes. And I'm just like, yo, what is this? Like, I'm not saying NXT never like will give you a match and then like pull it away, but it was like, yo, you said this is what you've said, Triple H. This is what your commercial is. You're not living up even close to it. Yeah. Like, you throw out matches that I know you're going to run into. Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley after and basically as number 1 contendership match to get to Charlotte. I know you're not going to give me a finish on that. Sure enough, Charlotte's dumbass runs down. is like the 50th person we ever seen in WWE or WCW television or any North American television ever to be the champion, break up a number 1 contenders match, and to be fucking gobsmacked and shocked that whatever power person of authority comes out and says, you fucked me this match, so 3-way. What? 3-way? I've never seen that before in the history of wrestling. I am shocked. I am flummoxed. I am floored. Fuck out of here. That's stupid as shit.
Yeah, there's been so many problems with the NXT booking since AEW Dynamite has aired on TV. NXT used to be so good at the long-term booking. You would have matches announced week to week. You kind of knew the direction they were going in. Now you get to the point where half the times you maybe have 1, maybe 2 matches announced ahead of time, if that.
Shit, you get 1 match and you get person X may be in action or maybe cutting a promo. Right. It used to be where they would used to do, because obviously it was taped, but I don't care. They were taping shows like 2 times a week in the pandemic as well, just like everybody else was. There was a time on NXT when it was a 1-hour show on the network where they would tell you the main event match for next week, the second match for that's going to go shorter, and then tell you that there's going to be a squash match, and then also tell you what the main event to look forward to in week 2 weeks out and 3 weeks out was, because it's some type of match that involves a championship build match. Like, that used to be the show. Constant, steady. You knew what to anticipate. You knew how to build anticipation for it. In 1 hour, no commercial breaks. I'm not even going to get into the fact that like the commercial breaks completely like ruined their match quality. It's completely killed them. They don't know where to put commercials. They are just as bad as the main roster as far as where to put commercials, and it's killed their match quality all year since the pandemic. Y'all go ahead. Say something else.
Josh, please talk about how much you hated Gargano and Ciampa, please. Please.
That blue night, that's Greg the Hammer Valentine.
That's hilarious.
No, listen, I really, really, really hated Ciampa and Gargano, and it really pisses me off because prior to that match happening, I used to pretty much say that I thought the match they had in New Orleans was quite possibly the single greatest WWE wrestling match in history up to that point. And it still might be. But they took the greatest, maybe one of the all-time greatest feuds in the history of WWE and downgraded it time after time to the point where when we finally got this cinematic match, what was it?
One final beat or whatever.
It was like
one last beat.
It was like double turns. Like Johnny's wife is like kicking. Did she kick Gargano in the dick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she did a fake turn.
Okay. she pretends like these two have destroyed. Okay, because first off,
yeah, she's over it.
During the build, there's two things about this. There is that built this whole thing. The kick in the dick, or the screwing in Portland for Ciampa after Ciampa basically goes through the entire match Johnny did with Adam Cole in New York when Johnny won the belt, right? Like it's literally spot per spot as far as interference, him overcoming the interference all the times, him finally getting Cole after it looks like Cole, after he got back in the ring, he's about to get screwed by Cole or with his move, whatever else. Then Johnny comes out, grabs the belt, hits with the belt, and the belt shot means like that's why he lost, because of Johnny. That leads to that. Then you get them. They had that hour-long basic promo going through their entire story arc for a year. For the 3 years, whatever. That was incredible promo package or whatever else. Then they have the brawl that was fucking incredible. And had that been the match, we would have been like, this. Their four things have. This is like the best 4-match feud in WWE history. Then they have this fucking nonsense that they beat the shit out of each other. They end up go outside the building in the dark. There's a drone that you can't see shit. It's poorly lit. You can barely see anything at times. Then after they've utterly destroyed each other, Candice comes into the ring and says, "You guys, look what you guys have done. You've destroyed the PC. You destroyed Full Sail. There's nothing left. I am sick of this." And it also plays into the whole thing with Johnny being a dumbass and pissing off Candice because of all the things that Ciampa has pulled him through emotionally for them to go through this and destroy each other. Where she's like, "I'm leaving you. I want a divorce." She kicks him in the dick. And Johnny goes down, and then it makes Ciampa, after all they've been through, after they just tried to merge us for 50 minutes, basically like, you know what? Wow, I can't believe that we've gone so far that we've ruined this marriage. You know what, bro? Maybe we can,
I'm sorry.
Maybe we can salvage this. Yeah, he did say I'm sorry or whatever else, right? And then Johnny says, "I'm sorry too." While his back is turned, Candice got behind him, kicks Ciampa in the dick. And then Johnny exposes to reveal to Ciampa that he was wearing a cup. This is all just a ruse to fuck him after they've wrestled for 45 minutes.
I was gonna say this shit was like 48 minutes.
And here's the thing:
hits him with the DDT or whatever else with Ciampa's own DDT move, and then gets the win, I believe.
Well, here's the thing: is like I'm fine with the whole fact that it was a double cross. I'm fine with the fact that he had a cup on, although I've done MMA and I've been kicked with a cup, and it still
hurts.
Fucking hurts. Now, if he had a steel cup, that'd be a different story, like what they do in Muay Thai. But the reason I didn't like it was the main thing that has sucked the most when it comes to Johnny Gargano matches, and I still hold that Johnny Gargano is the greatest performer in the history of WWE from a match quality standpoint. But in these Gargano matches, oftentimes there's this Johnny Gargano melodrama. And it's the one thing that brings his matches down time and time again. And it was like, you know what? We're going to lean into that as far as we could possibly go. And this was a week where it's like, there's been very few weeks where I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch NXT instead of AEW.
I remember that. Yeah.
And this was the one week where I'd already been burned a couple times. And I was like, but you know what? It's Gargano Ciampa. There's no way I'm going to miss this. I didn't know it was going to be a cinematic match. And then I started watching, and you know what? When it started off hot, and I was like, "Oh, it's good, it's going good." And then I was like, "Oh wait, it's not going good."
It was all downhill from there, pal.
And then like the editing didn't make sense. Like when they were on top of the truck, they went to commercial.
You couldn't see shit.
And then they went to commercial, and when they came back, they were just not on the truck anymore. They're inside the building. It's like, how the fuck did they get down?
Right.
What happened?
And the whole time, because, they're on the truck, you think like, in the cinematic, you think like somebody's going to get pushed off this fucking thing.
Right, there's drama.
Or whatever else. And then ultimately, once they get back into the building and get back into the ring at this secret close-off location, that's still fucking Full Sail.
It's just Full Sail.
You can tell it's Full Sail if you've ever been to Full Sail. I mean, maybe that's just a me thing because I've been there a few times. Like, they get to a spot where Ciampa does an air raid crash off the top rope onto the concrete.
Oh yeah,
and then do the cutaway after they fell on the crash pad, and you can see where the cut where they just like they basically fell from like 2 feet, and then they're devastating. It's like, yo, this was so obvious that this was fake.
But aside from this match, I wasn't even aware that this commercial even existed until we were starting to come up with topics for this. And Rich was like, the no BS NXT thing. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he showed me the commercial, and I laughed.
It's like the biggest hubris ever.
I laughed
I was seeing it
so
every week.
hard because it's so starkly different than what NXT is today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
NXT, it's a no BS. You have Dexter Loomis running around. They're doing haunted houses matches. They're doing
zombies,
blindfold matches, ref zombies. You have Robert Stone getting run over by Shotzi's tank.
Yeah, the tank getting run over.
You have multiple people in scream masks coming out. You got Leon Ruff having the title fall around because it's too big for him.
Those weird ass Garganos, promos where they're at their house. And it's just like this. It's like, the first week when it was AEW to NXT head to head, NXT put on an awesome show. They really, really did. And I was like, you know what? If they keep doing this, it's going to be a tight race. And then slowly but surely, we knew that because it was on live TV, it was 2 hours, and Vince had his hand on it, that it was not going to be business as usual. And it wasn't going to be these shows that were booked out 4 to 6 to 8 weeks in advance the way it had been. It was week-to-week booking. And that's why they don't announce shit. That's why shit doesn't make sense. And that's why, it's goofy as fuck. And that's why it's failing. Because it's not no BS. It's not the wrestler's wrestler show. It's WWE
It's
Light.
Yellow Raw.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's basically TNA Impact circa 2011. Does it not feel like that?
Yeah.
That's funny. In Triple H, all his flaws as a booker have been exposed. He's booked the promotion in his own essence, overrun with heels. We know he loves heel champions, and the few moments of babyface joy rapidly get cut from you with the double title Keith Lee stuff. They spent a lot of the year telling you what they are and showing you that they were something completely different.
Yeah. Nothing says that more than what they've done to their men's singles division. I don't know how enthused I will be to watch this show every week if not for the women's division. We've discussed how the tag division went to shit, and they never wanted to build it back up ever since it went to shit. But the fact that they have Kushida and Swerve and Timothy Thatcher and Cameron Grimes and Damian Priest, and the
Jonah
only
Rock.
person that sorry,
Jonah Rock.
Yeah, Jonah Rock, who but I mean, obviously, there's probably a ceiling to what that company thinks of Jonah Rock, but whatever. The fact that the only person that they felt bothered to elevate to they need to be on a takeover every single week level is Damian Priest is it to me is ridiculous. If you're going to feed Tommaso Ciampa to Karrion Kross for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a 7-minute squash match where he's utterly destroyed, then you need to get somebody up in the bullpen.
And Ciampa needs to go the fuck away.
But instead, they sent him away for an amount of time, and then they came back, and he's been murdering people ever since again. There was no reason for him to beat Timothy Thatcher on TakeOver recently. Thatcher sent away Matt Riddle and sent him out the territory in the fucking
fight pit.
Was it, the fight pit or whatever you want to call it. And it was an awesome match. Thatcher has had awesome matches.
Yeah.
Whenever he's given an opportunity to do such a thing, he has a character. People want to clown about the fact that he doesn't do numbers or people turn off whenever he's on. Fine. You can't knock his quality of work though.
Yeah, and
so for me, it's I can't make heads or tails of this. It's wins. It used to be to where wins and losses did matter in NXT, and they do to an extent, but it's close. It's quickly more reminiscent of what you were seeing in as WWE from the last 6 years, or not like 6 years, let's say like last
3,
4 years, where it's like you used to see people get built. Now you're just like you see them just give up on people, or like it, or nothing ever matters. Just get to wherever they get to, whenever they get to it, and it's like you start to see a little bit more of that now. Like you can still see directions, you can still see where they're headed, but it's like they get through it, blow past it, and move on from it so fast now. It's like, damn, bro, like. And it's always, to build up the next big thing to try to match whatever AEW has built towards after 3 months.
There's two last things I'll say. One thing, we don't have to rehash the whole thing, but it was just really also fucked up, was they had Adam Cole in one of the longest title reigns ever in the history of the company, and then they hot-shotted this angle where, Keith Lee as the U.S. or the North American champion. They needed to unify those titles.
for no reason.
They popped, the rating at Great American Bash. They did the shit, and then like a week or two later, he decides, well, I don't need to hold both belts, so I need to drop this North American title so everyone else can have opportunities. And then the next takeover was a few weeks later. He drops the belt and then gets called up. So the whole thing was like superfluous, and it left both divisions looking weak and in shambles. And then the last thing I'll say is this: is like there was.
I'll get you.
Go ahead.
And then what did they do after that? When Cross got hurt, like at the very end of that match, let's have a four-way Iron Man match that goes an hour long, ends on a
have
draw,
no finish.
and then the next one will actually give you the winner. Fuck off with that. That's stupid.
It was stupid. And then recently they had like a triple threat match, and they were like, "It's going to be a triple threat match." Sudden death. All of them are sudden death, you idiots. Oh, not to mention also, remember that time when Kushida got pinned?
Got thrown in the trash?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Kushida,
God.
No, I was thinking more like the Cruiserweight thing.
Oh, with Drake Maverick and Jake Atlas.
Yeah, they had him get pinned off of a fucking
armbar.
Yeah. Anyways, the last thing I'll say is...
No, that's not what happened. Well, he had an armbar on, and then he had the armbar on Atlas, and then Drake Maverick hit a splash onto Atlas, so he got the pin before Atlas tapped out or some shit like that.
It's just stupid stuff. It's just that week, every week there's something stupid, and it used to not be that way. In North America, there was a period of time where the best wrestling and the best period of wrestling for like almost a decade was Ring of Honor. And then that kind of got taken over by NXT. And NXT, we used to say, TakeOver never misses. Well, since then, takeovers have missed. And, NXT for like a 6-7 year period was seen as like the pinnacle of North American wrestling. That is long gone, and I think it's gone forever. I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, why were you suspect it to be fixed?
Yeah, it's not going to get fixed.
Yeah, that well is dried up from especially like when the imports, they don't have like new PWG imports coming in every 3 or 4 months, and people are spending more time there. It's BS.
Yeah.
So
NXT, no BS.
Can get the fuck out of here.
All right, so young boy, you got the second pick in the second round.
Well, I figure we should keep it WWE centric. So for the second pick of the second round, I will be drafting WWE limits third-party activity of their performers. They shut down all the third-party activity. And just to keep it very simple, a lot of wrestlers had a lot of outside activities. They had, cameos. They had Twitch streams. They had YouTube channels. They had OnlyFans. They had outside endeavors, like they were recording music and doing podcasts and doing movies and all these other things. And then very recently, everything got shut down. And for whatever reason, Vince and WWE decided, you know what? We want a piece of that pie.
We need that.
And it's like, all right, well, most of these people are probably only going to basically fulfill their downside guarantee because we're not running any house shows and you're not renegotiating any of their contracts to kind of supplement or make up for it. So how can we fuck these people even further is basically say, you know what? You can't do these things under your wrestling name. Well, that makes sense. if I'm XYZ wrestler and I'm wrestling under this gimmick name that was given to me by WWE and they own that copyright, I get that. So let me go ahead and put my Twitch stream under my real name because that's an outside endeavor on my own time. I'm not wrestling. I've got no dates, but then they're like, oh, you know what? You can't do that either because even though you're not a contracted employee, you're a third party, or what's it called?
We own your likeness.
Right.
Shit.
Yes.
We own your likeness, so you're not going to be able to do that anyways. And then they decided, okay, well, you know what? You will be able to do some of these things, but A, we have to approve it. B, when you do it, we have to get the majority cut of it. And then what's going to end up happening is you're going to get paid a fraction of the price, and it's going to come out of your downside guarantee, which means you're basically getting paid the same amount as you would have. Now, if you opt to not do it, you're going to get paid less than your downside guarantee. There's no fucking way that this is legal.
This is an evil corporation.
But nobody has the money to fight it or to go to war or to do anything from a legal standpoint because this is a money-making, multi-billion-dollar machine. And, Joe Schmo, who's in NXT or, whatever, or even if you're a big name on the top brand like AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, you're not going to rock the boat and mess up your
right.
deal. So it's just really fucked up because not only did they fire all these people earlier, but now they're fucking with the people who are stuck under contract who were trying to make a buck, to make a living, to have something better for themselves. No, you want to get over? You want to expand the brand and make a name for yourself?
Be a star?
Be a star? Nah, we can't fucking have that. You got to do it for us, and we got to get paid more than you.
Yeah, we got to sterilize it to make sure your real personality is not coming through.
Let's homogenize this shit. We want to control what you say, what you look like, what you do, how you do it, what you get paid. Fuck you. I'm going to the bathroom.
Oh man, yeah. This whole thing has just been absolutely asinine, and yeah, you have guys who have built up, great Twitch followings, and you're like, wouldn't you want these guys to go out there and build these followings so maybe their following could actually watch your show? The shows that have been declining ratings from year to year, month to month, week to week. Don't you think you want to utilize these platforms for them to bring their fans over to your show? No, they just all they care about is the money. We've seen situations like Zelina Vega, who's refused to give up her, her third party endeavors, and they gave her the boot because
immediately.
Yeah. And I think we're going to continue to see this. Either you get down or lay down, and people are going to have to give up their Twitches and their cameos, and then they have to get author. We saw the Undertaker out here, doing cameos, 1,000 a pop. That's going to be the future going forward. People are going to be told, all right, you have to do these cameos, and by the way, we're getting the majority percentage of it. And yeah, you still have to do it. And so, yeah, that's the way it's going to go if there'll be anytime talents finds a way to get themselves over or make money outside WWE, they're going to find a way to get their hands on it. We saw that with Zack Ryder back in the day with the YouTube channel. They put their paws on that, got that, put it on their YouTube, and they killed Zack dead. We see every podcast that a wrestler has, they're grabbing it, put it on the network, and it's never going to stop.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Jeremy, about the declining ratings year over year, and you think about something like Twitch. Like, Twitch is primarily consumed by young people. So, wouldn't you, want to try to, get in that demographic? No. It doesn't make sense.
No, they want to get into it, but they want to make all the money. They want to control everything about it. You want to get over, kid? Fuck you. You're not getting over. You're going to do as we say. The brand is all that matters.
The shield.
Yeah, man.
James?
You're muted, James.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I think the thing for me when it comes down to the third-party stuff for me is just do y'all need in on every fucking dime bag?
Apparently they do.
It's just, and it's to what end? like it's just so much bad will. It's like you are signing everybody under the sun to keep them from doing anything. You don't. Then your employee morale is terrible because the ratings are bad. Wrestlers, I mean, obviously, even under the best of circumstances, but in this particular circumstance, are like not being utilized to the best of what they believe is their potential or their strengths. They're sent out there to look like fucking idiots half the time. Whatever they're doing from week to week makes no sense compared to what they did the week. It makes no sense compared to what they did the week before. So like they're creatively unfulfilled. And ultimately, like, you sign them as independent contractors and then treat them like employees. And then, like, once you treat them like employees, they get no benefits that they get the worst of being independent contractors and employees. And it's just like, damn, man. It's like, when do these people get a break? Right. As far as, or just a shot in the arm of like, we're here with you or whatever else as an employer. And it's like, or contract or whatever you want to call them. And it's like, WWE doesn't do any of that. Like, nah, like Big E, the amount of money you made off Cameo over these years, even though you've made a mint for us as 1/3 of New Day, never mind that. Forget the part of where like these are supposed to be relationships that you work on as an independent contractor when you're someone as big as Big E or the New Day and you've made as much money for this company. It's a partnership. It's not a employee situation. Nah, we're going to treat you just like another fucking worker bee. Go shut that shit down and come with us.
Well, you know why that is.
It's just what is oh, but, and that's part of that. I'm sure that's a part of it, but it's just like, damn, bro, like, what are there any perks to working for WWE aside from the money?
They've been they've been towing the line.
I don't know, man.
For a really long time, they've been illegally classifying their employees as independent contractors,
and that's everybody.
And it is everybody. But there are stark contrasts between what, say, AEW does, and I'm not even going to bat for them, but there are stark contrasts between what AEW allows and doesn't allow their performers to do versus
they have switches.
Right. and they're allowed to work other places and take outside bookings and actually be contractors, whereas in WWE, they're clearly employees without any of the benefits. Right. And WWE's gotten away with it for a long time, and, part of it was like they've kind of towed the line. But now they're really crossing the line to where like Andrew Yang's getting involved and other people, and they're not far off from this whole thing getting blown up.
A raid.
No, not a raid, but them literally fucking up to the point where like their workers get classified as employees and fucks the whole thing up for everybody. And I'm not saying I'm against that. I would be in favor for that, but like it would have ramifications for the industry. And they're fucking it up for themselves and for everybody.
It's like if they can look the other way on a couple things, it would go a long way.
You can't let your workers have this. It's nothing. To find
it's a drop in the bucket.
To find out that a lot of these workers, like for instance, like you brought up the Zelina Vega thing, it's like she was making more money on OnlyFans than she was as a performer. And I'm not like saying,
which is an indictment.
Yeah, it's an indictment. And I'm not saying like, I thought Zelina Vega was a fantastic worker. I thought she was a great talent on the mic and everything. But like the fact that she's making more money on her social media than she is for WWE.
And she's working on national television every week.
It's not right. It's fucked up. Yeah. And then you got to and then you're like, you know what? You got to make a choice. Fuck you.
Yes. Zelina told him to go to hell.
Zelina Vega is, so that means like literally.
Stay looking good, girl.
Hell yes.
My point was going to be that like based off of, in representation, Zelina Vega with her platform is better at working over the incels than WWE. that should never happen.
Oh my god! Man. I think I'm done. Are you guys done?
Yeah.
All right. So WWE stopping the third-party activities of wrestlers. They can get the fuck out of here.
So,
Rich
all right, Rich, you got the third pick in the second round.
I knew where I was going with this one. I wanted to get a serious one first round, but you looking at the list, you know y'all know where I'm going. Y'all know what it's time to do. So, with the second pick, the third pick in the second round.
Yep.
I am drafting the people that let Kenny Omega break their brains.
Speak on it.
Fucking boy.
Preach.
Where do I begin?
Speak on it.
So, throughout the year of 2019, had to listen to, Kenny Omega ruined his career by coming to America. What are they doing with him in AEW? You know, they should make him the champion. They should do all this stuff. And what did you hear out of Rich Latta? Yeah, maybe once or twice you might have heard me like kind of frustrated with what's going on, but I'm like, ultimately the man's doing what he wants to do. He's doing the tags. He's doing a long-term story. It's a slow build.
Doing good work still.
Doing good work. It's a slow build like any other company he's been in. He's going to go from the bottom to the top. These people online swear this man is like washed, overrated, cooked.
Never mind, he had like 17 of the best matches of the year this year.
Yes, we'll get there. But like you start looking at the year, who's been a better empty arena performer than Kenny Omega?
Not many.
Almost nobody.
He's up there.
Like when you think about from the literal start of the pandemic, not shutting down for months and being able to look at how it's done, it's been him that got this shit started. So
I mean, it's like if you're gonna say the shorthand list of people, it's like Mayu Iwatani, Kenny Omega, Ishii, Shingo, Hiromu. And then, like, if you want to say Go Shiozaki from, then sure. But I haven't watched any of his matches. I only see the ratings.
They had people still.
So he's on a long, fruitful tag team championship reign with Hangman. It's awesome.
Yep.
Great title defenses. 228 days. The whole time people screaming, he needs to be the champion. Where's the cleaner? Where everybody's living in 2014 and all this shit, right? So, at the end of the year, They break up the tag team.
This man almost messed up his mic.
They break up the tag team, right? And I'm like, I'm like, what do I do on the podcast, James? I'm like, be careful. Here's a warning. When they break up Kenny, he's going to get more over than whatever the fuck you want to do. So be careful making him a heel. Did I not do this, James?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens next is the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. It's time to induct more people. And I have never seen so many sour grapes and piss poor voting and sideways tweets and crying and just like people mortified that this man, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live, one of the guys that has, throughout the last couple years become a legend. Hot business in multiple countries.
The generation.
Can you imagine if Twitter existed when Shawn Michaels was around in 95?
Oh my gosh.
Bro, and it's like the people that they bent over backwards every way to discredit this man for going in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, all because their favorite guys didn't go in. I'm talking reporters, I'm talking fans, I'm talking like all these people that log on with all this cap surrounding this guy that saying, we look at his matches, right? How many matches has he had in his career? Where the majority of them take place? In Japan. People are calling for him to be on the U.S. ballot. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Hold on, real quick. This man has done so much shit in Japan, and that man was on a Stardom show. He's been from there in 2000. I think that's 2011, 2013. That's also DDT. That's also New Japan. That's also back to DDT again.
All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
His All Japan run is fucking
We're talking about a legend of Japan. Like, any way you want to cut it. And then, these are coming from specific camps. The LIJ stands, your staunch WWE apologists.
The Puro Elitists.
The Puro Elitists.
Yep.
There's at least another group that I'm forgetting.
I don't know, people that just like women's wrestling.
The old school guys.
The cornet motherfuckers. Yes,
your NWA enthusiasts.
Yes, I'm like, what did Kenny Omega do to y'all? How did he threaten you this much by existing? I don't get it. I never will. But you know what? I'm going to show up for him. I'm going to ride for my dog, and I'm going to laugh. Now that he's a heel, he's the world champion, and he's using everything that they put out about him. It was like, you guys wanted the cleaner. You wanted me to be the champion. And he was on, we're recording this on the same day that the Chris Jericho, Don Callis, and Kenny Omega podcast drop. One of the best shows of the year. They're leaning into this shit in such a way it is going to upset people. And I'm going to love every second of it because, as always, we are always ahead out here. We know it's coming before it happens.
Rich, don't forget you missed out on the Allen Angels.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
So
I was gonna bring that up.
So Dynamite, they're doing their empty arena stuff from QT's school, the Nightmare Factory.
What do they got? 29% of their roster,
right? And so they gotta do what they can do, and so they decided to put Kenny Omega versus Allen Angels. And the internet lost their mind because Kenny Omega let Allen Angels get some offense.
Oh my God.
And because Allen Angels kicked out of a V-trigger, which
man's
is
not a
not
star.
even his signature finisher. And people are losing their mind. Oh my gosh, Kenny Omega, he's washed. They've ruined him. He's given all his offense to a jobber, and Allen Angel is nobody. Like, what are they doing with Kenny Omega? And
bro, like, and like, it was Ryan Statton and just all the usual suspects. Y'all know who we talking about, the FDS. Y'all gotta stop this. Oh my God, Jimmy Del Rey.
Listen, before we came to record this, I was telling Rich about this match between the Heavenly Bodies and the Rock and Roll Express. I haven't seen it in years. It fucking rocks from Survivor Series 93. It is so good.
Yeah. So
go ahead with Allen Angels.
But yeah, with Allen Angels, it was like, I remember at the time I was just flat out baffled. Like, I came on One Nation Radio that week and I was like, well, what if they see something in Allen Angels? Like, what if this is like, because I remember hearing a story, both Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega were able to wrestle AJ Styles in their formative years, like when they were like 21 years old, 22 years old. And in Kenny's case, he said a match with AJ Styles kept him in wrestling. Like, he would have like thought he couldn't do it, like, until he wrestled AJ. AJ was like, hey man, you should stick with this. You have something. And I believe Seth has a similar story, except Seth was always going to continue. But he was like, yeah, when I wrestled AJ, it was like, oh, okay, I knew I could be somebody. And Seth or Styles like paid for his meal that night and was like, this is like the way you do it or whatever, and shepherded into the business. I was like, who are we to say that this isn't that moment? How do we know what Allen Angels is going to turn into?
Yeah.
And we've seen Allen Angels since then, and it was like, wow, Kenny Omega was ahead on this. Like, AEW was ahead. Like, this guy actually has something.
Two things with this. It may come as a surprise to some people, other people know, but like, I'm working in the wrestling industry. I've got teammates who have worked as jobbers in major companies, and there's nothing more frustrating than putting all this time into your craft and being capable of actually doing good work, but then because you don't have a name, because you don't have any notoriety, going out there and having to just be squashed by Brian Cage. And there is a time and place for that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's something frustrating when you're capable of more and they don't let you showcase it. Then you're an Allen Angels and you get in the ring with Kenny Omega and he gives you a little bit of offense.
He gives you like a 6-minute match on TNT.
He gives you a little bit of offense to showcase what you can really
and
do.
And get you a job.
Yes.
In a pandemic.
This sort of thing needs to happen more often. I guarantee you, all the people that hated on this, you would have hated Ric Flair in 1985, boy. I'm telling you would have, because Ric Flair. And you would have hated Jake the Snake Roberts in 1984 because these guys never squashed people. There are all sorts of different types of squash matches in this industry, and some guys like to put people over so that when they beat them, it means they beat somebody that was worth the damn.
Right.
Here's a question for you, right? Was Rick Rude, was he or was he not one of the best wrestlers of the 80s?
Oh, absolutely. Like one of the top.
You can go on the WWE Network right now, and if I were to look it up, I can give you the dates. And he was on Mid-Atlantic doing jobs as a jobber. Like it like, believe it or not, like, I mean, I know people already know this, but it's like it all comes down to opportunity and what you make of it.
Yeah.
And like, we don't know what is in store for Alan Angels, but ultimately, like, him going 6 minutes or whatever, or less than 10 minutes of Kenny Omega is not the end of the world for Kenny Omega.
It became a referendum on his star power, his long-term drawing ability, for not keeping in mind that he's like in, like, if you look at the 20 best matches in the promotion, I believe he said this in a promo. He's like, yeah, I'm in like 17 of them or 15 of them or some shit. He's headlining all the pay-per-views. His quarter hours are still popping huge numbers. He's took what he's did in Japan, brought it over here, and, you know, adopted to a national television audience now.
You don't have to love it, but you better learn to live with it, because diamonds are forever, and so is Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and now that Don Callis is here, talking this man up and just making these people sick, I'm going to love it. I'm going to drink the tears of these salty motherfuckers. Like this, it's amazing.
Let me just tell the truth here. You don't have to love Kenny Omega. You don't have to love everything he's ever said.
Please don't let him break your brain.
You don't have to be a fan of the guy. But if you are out here saying that he's not one of the best wrestlers alive, then you're like someone who's trying to say that Al Pacino's not a great actor or Leonardo DiCaprio's not a great actor. You might not like his movies, but look at what it draws. Look at what it's rated at. Look at how the critics react to it. At some point, either you are being asinine and just completely like biased, or you're wrong, because there's no way that someone has put in these kind of performances, these kind of efforts, drawn this money, proven he's a star on multiple continents,
and got people
years and years and years.
Look, and got people this like riled up, as he always does. There's always a weird subsect somewhere that follows this guy.
So there's no way that he sucks. There's no way that he's overrated. There's no way that he's bad. It's either you're just a shithead, or you're wrong, or you're biased. That's it.
Right. So another thing, like we talk about when it comes to wrestlers, is like, and also wrestling, like, you're not going to like everything that every wrestling company gives you. And it comes down to your taste. And that's okay for you not to like everything. But if other people like it in abundance, then that's more of a you thing.
Yeah.
Than you know, this actually legitimately sucks. Like, we talk about this all the time, especially early on, especially last year, right? Like with the Fiend or whatever else. The Fiend, regardless of the quality we think of whatever Bray Wyatt's been doing the last 2 years, whatever else, none of us four will be like, nah, that shit's not over.
It's over.
Hell yeah, that shit's over.
We know it's over.
Do I think that shit is like awesome? Hell no, I don't think it's awesome. It got over with people. That's all that fucking matters. If people like it, you should at least be like, look, people respect it. It ain't for me, whatever else. The debonair thing, the dinner debonair thing with Jericho and MJF. I fucking hated that thing. It got over. All right, it ain't for me. Young Bucks versus FTR. I thought it was just a 4.25 star match. There are people that think it is like the greatest American tag match of all time.
Yeah.
That's your opinion. I think you're a fucking moron, but that's your opinion. Look, but the thing is, like, I'm not going to pretend that, like, that shit wasn't good.
It's
and, like Kenny Omega is like, I don't understand how somebody can have that kind of run this year with as a tag champion, have that tournament run, ends up on top as a champion, takes his ass to Mexico, has that match with
Laredo Kid.
Oh my God,
Laredo Kid.
Yeah, Laredo Kid. I almost called him Vikingo, which is not Vikingo. This is literally rivals. He's going to fight Vikingo eventually, and then come back and say like, nah, not good. Like, I understand, like, if that dude's not your particular cup of tea. There are a bunch of guys that aren't my particular cup of tea that I'm just like, yeah, but like people like him, and like I'm not gonna say he stinks. Like, people act like this dude like should go back to learn how to lock up.
He needs more seasoning.
Yeah.
I just do not get it. It's like, how many stages does dude have to get over with the overwhelming majority of people watching him for y'all to just be like, all right, bro, like it's the game's passed me by, or there's something I'm just missing with this person, and I never will, and that's okay, but like I can't keep pretending. And it's like I don't see it. Like if I've never disliked somebody in wrestling that much as to be like I just see them as completely talentless, even if they're even in spite of them getting over all the time. It's like it's weird denialism. That's not even, I don't know if denialism is a word, but like that's just weird, a weird version of denial.
Yeah.
There's a lot we could continue to say here, but the one thing I will say is like ultimately, no matter what this guy does, no matter what he does, with some of y'all, it's always wrong. And that's the worst part about it, is like when he's taking a step back, it's not enough. When he's in the spotlight, he's de-pushing people. When he's putting on classics, it's masturbatory. When he's working.
When he's squashing Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
He's a homophobe.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That did happen.
When he's cutting promos in Japan, he's racist.
He can't talk.
Yeah, he's not a good promo. And then when he's cutting two like really good promos, this guy's just so full of himself. Fuck y'all. He
can't win.
He can't win.
He's an EVP. That's why he's the world champion right now.
But let me make it real simple for you guys. There has been maybe 10 wrestlers ever in history that are near the level of Kenny Omega. He's an all-time great. So you better just fucking learn to live with it because he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm glad because it's just, if I always talked about how special New Japan felt like in 2017, 2018, in real time. I was just like, I was very critical and like saying and letting people know like, yo, this is different. Like, I don't know what's happened, but shit's exploded. Like, and that group of guys that have all kind of gone their own separate ways at this point, and maybe they have lost maybe 10% of how good they were during that time. I would even put Kenny in that category. I had a conversation with someone the other day where I told them that. I was like, maybe he's not what he was at his zenith, maybe athletically or anything like that, but they are always going to resonate with the people that were watching that got him over. And the thing is, there has not been this huge drop off. There has not, especially when you look at the rest of the world, like contemporarily, like it's largely still the same guys that are great, So I don't know like where the big fall off is. I just think people need to stop inventing like all these ridiculous bending over backward ways to try to judge this guy to say what he's not and start focusing on what he is. And what he is a Hall of Famer in his mid-30s that's a world champion. So all y'all can kiss my ass, root for evil, watch a goddamn, watch some Mid-South, watch some Smoky Mountain Wrestling, go watch Jim Cornette book Ring of Honor into oblivion. Whatever the fuck you gotta do to deal with the fact, go watch Vince just kill his television. Whatever you gotta do to make yourself feel better, to get off the back of the best bout machine, because he's not going fucking anywhere.
Oh my
Wrestler of the Year 2020. Go to hell, bitches.
Bang!
Yes. So are we gonna do the FOH thing?
Oh my
Yeah. So to the people that let Kenny Omega break their brains, you can get the fuck out of here.
Oh my gosh.
My God.
As a business owner, you eventually realize you can't do everything yourself. But hiring is complicated. And what if you only need part-time help? Belay, an innovative staffing solution, has successfully matched thousands of small businesses with part-time virtual assistants, bookkeepers, and social media strategists. Let Belay help you juggle less and accomplish more. Just go to belaysolutions.com. That's BELAY solutions.com.
Still paying hundreds of dollars for prescription glasses? Let's change that. At Zenni.com, our factory direct model means no middlemen or outrageous markups. Just the same quality frames and lens options as the other guys for 1/10 the price. Zenni offers prescription glasses starting at $6.95, as well as affordable sunglasses, blue blockers, and more. The best part? Try any frame, anywhere, with our 3D virtual try-on. Visit Zenni.com today and change the way you buy glasses forever.
All right, so
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
So for
where we at, Jeremy?
Yo, this is gonna be, of all the things that we've said, this is gonna be the most controversial thing on the entire FOH draft this year.
I mean, you never know, but I dare people to dispute me.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
It's ridiculous.
They will. Go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, so for the last pick in the second round, I am drafting cinematic matches. Bro. So clearly,
Get him.
2020 obviously was not the first year that we've seen cinematic matches. You know, we saw the backlot brawl with Goldust and Roddy Piper. We've seen the the halftime heats. We've seen a lot of cinematic matches. You know, it really got popular again when the Hardys were in TNA and they did the final deletion, and they were doing their whole deletion series with Matt and Jeff, and then they were feuding against Decay, and it got really popular then. And then now in this pandemic period, we saw another kind of reemergence of these cinematic matches, and it all started at WrestleMania. We saw the Boneyard match with Undertaker and AJ.
The Boneyard match.
And you know what? The Boneyard match was fine for what it was. I'd rather see that than Undertaker's old ass come out there and fumble around and try to have this redeeming match that he's been seeking. And you know what? That was fine. But then it went all downhill from there. Literally the next night when you have the Firefly Funhouse with Cena and Wyatt, and all these people are like, "Oh my gosh, Bray Wyatt, he's a genius. This is incredible." Did you see all the nuance, the subtleness of what they're doing? Go ahead, James.
And then you find out that John Cena had to step in and say no to so much stuff, and all the good ideas were pretty much John Cena's ideas, not Bray Wyatt's. Continue with the genius that is Bray Wyatt. Go ahead.
Yeah, this whole the subtlety and the genius. Oh, wow! this is a retrospective of Cena's career, and how awesome is this? And I don't care, man. That Firefly Funhouse match was absolutely horrible. It was garbage. It was a waste of time. It came on screen. I was like, what the hell is this? What am I watching?
Not a match.
It's not a professional wrestling match. I tuned into the biggest wrestling show of the freaking year to see wrestling matches, not freaking Bray Wyatt to try to make some movie or whatever he's trying to do. That was trash. And then you move on. You got the Money in the Bank ladder match. Bro, Money in the Bank has always been one of my favorite matches and pay-per-views that, especially, since the CM Punk era of him, beating Cena for the bank. We've had a lot of great Money in the Bank matches at WrestleMania. It's been great moments for guys like Edge and Rob Van Dam, The Miz to help get these guys over, push them to the next level. And
Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler. Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
So many
guys have gotten over with the Money in the Bank, and the ladder matches are always great. They're always crazy high spot matches, and they literally crapped on the whole legacy and the importance of Money in the Bank this year with doing this stupid climb to the top of the building to get the briefcases. Both matches are combined, and there's two briefcases at the top, and everybody's got to run to the top and use elevators. And we see Undertaker's office. We got people dying. They threw the freaking threw Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black off the freaking roof.
Hold on. Look at how much ice Rich put in his fucking cognac.
I didn't know I grabbed that much.
Bro, it's like 30 pieces of ice.
Bro, that's so much.
And people were like, "Oh,
from here that looks like a damn glass of iced tea."
This man got some sweet tea right now.
That ain't no sweet tea. That one thing that definitely is not sweet. You finna die.
He's literally drinking half a bottle of cognac at this point.
Hey, don't worry about it. He's gonna get powers in a couple of days, so it's gonna be straight.
I hope them powers is rebirth, because he's gonna die.
This man's gonna need a sensu bean tomorrow.
But yeah, and this money people are like, oh yeah, it was so creative and so funny, and why can't you guys just laugh? I'm like, no,
because it wasn't funny.
It was not funny. This is the Money in the Bank. Something that's
tried way too hard.
That you used to elevate guys, get them to the next level, and you freaking put the men's Money in the Bank on Otis.
With no plans.
No plans. A literal walking joke. Is Otis ever going to be freaking WWE champion? No.
Apparently not.
Is he ever going to be a Universal champion? No. Literally, they have... Is he still have the briefcase?
No, he lost. Miz has it.
That's right. Miz has it.
They took the shit off him.
Right. They literally had no plans for this man.
You guys are talking about bullshit. Look at this 1993 Survivor Series.
This is where it started. This motherfucker's riding the fucking... what the fuck is that? He's riding in the ring. He's got a scooter in the ring. What the fuck's going on, Vince? This is why the shit fell off.
They've been eating turkeys.
He's got a bicycle.
He's got a bicycle.
What were you saying, James?
I've totally forgotten. So go ahead, Jeremy.
But yeah, it's like, why couldn't they put this on somebody that they were actually gonna have plans with? They put it on Otis to have this whole comedy gimmick.
They never had plans.
Otis.
I do that.
Yes.
I knew that Joe Lanza. That Joe Lanza. Otis.
You work your whole life to become a wrestler. You go to wrestling school. You take those bumps, and you run that rope. You get that rope burn. All to show up, and your name is Otis. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, wasn't that man like an all-American collegiate wrestler?
Yes,
he was.
And literally no plans for this Money in the Bank. They're like, oh crap, yeah, it was fun. It probably popped Vince that night, and then they were like, oh crap, what do we do going forward? And then eventually they had to take it off of him and put it on the Miz.
I remember, yes. And the person they took it off of was a person they don't plan on doing shit with either. So it's like, well, what the fuck then? They're going to go with Miz again after like a year. What will be 14 for him or some shit like that?
There were some examples this year of good cinematic wrestling, but the thing is, like, it's one of those things that should maybe happen once a year, if even that. Like, it should be few and far between, and it should be really, really like, I mean, you're essentially shooting a movie, so it should be like something that is extremely entertaining. And for the most part, it's mostly sucked. It's mostly been a downgrade on pro wrestling. And you hear these fans who...
This is what your pro wrestling should turn into.
Yeah, this is what wrestling should be. This is the future. And it's like, no. You know what the future wrestling should be? Wrestling.
No, and my thing is, like, if you want to watch that, get a Netflix subscription and go watch Glow.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean that to be condescending or whatever else. My point is, if this is what you are so searching for out of your professional wrestling, one, it already exists, and two, maybe this isn't for you anymore.
Bro, it's like, if you want to watch a wrestling, go watch No Holds Barred. Go watch,
oh my god,
go watch The Wrestler.
Yeah, The Wrestler.
go watch Tanahashi's movie.
Well, yeah,
yeah. My dad's a heel wrestler.
What's the David Arquette movie?
Oh, Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble. You can go watch that shit. It's like, or if you want to watch some fake fighting that is like really choreographed, that is, bro. There's a ton of Tony Jaa movies. You can go watch some fucking Jackie Chan. Like, that shit's fire. That's way more entertaining, way more cinematic, and way better than this.
The cinematic matches I like were the Stadium Stampede, Boneyard match, the Bucks, BTE 200.
No, that sucked.
No, that shit was great. BTE 200 was great.
I don't watch BTE.
Okay, it's good for like comedy, but Jeremy gave it 5 stars.
that was fire,
bro. It was great, bro. It was like, yo, you think about the year in wrestling, like what the shit ended up to. Like, people had to do these creative things to kind of, stay in the public eye, and, the Bucks couldn't travel, and there was so much to it. Like, in BTE's presentation, this was a 5-star match. Like, it was amazing. Like,
my biggest thing is that like Vince has always wanted to make movies. Vince has always wanted to control the narrative. Vince has always wanted to be completely in control. He didn't want to deal with contrarian fans who didn't like what he was presenting. He didn't want to deal with, the chants and the lack of response. Like, he wanted to be someone who, kind of like was above pro wrestling. It wasn't just always lowbrow, but like true art and things like that. And
he's always wanted to do something else other to get legitimacy outside of professional wrestling. Always.
Exactly. And so this was his opportunity to do those things, and people are praising it. And you know what? For the most part, it's fuck shit.
Then Britt Baker and Big Swole, that was like
really bad. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was
really bad.
That wasn't good.
Didn't TNA do a bunch of shit that sucked too this year? Like with someone dying and like.
Well, hold on. I wasn't done with WWE, so we also have
let's bring it back.
So we already talked about the one final beat with Gargano and Ciampa and how horrible that was. There was also the Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream Backlash Brawl.
God.
That was freaking horrible.
Obviously, we talked about Gargano and Ciampa. That sucked. You know what I think helped this year with cinematic wrestling was fucking the Good Brothers and Rocky Romero deciding, you know what, we're going to go all the way with this shit and just make it really suck.
Bullshit.
And we're going to turn it into real bullshit. And they made tons of fucking money off of it. And they ruined it so bad that the people were like, we probably shouldn't be doing this. And since the last two, what are they called?
Talking Shop Mania.
Yeah.
No one's done shit like that. Because they went all the way with it. And it's also funny because I've seen people be like, Lucha Underground was doing this years ago. No, they weren't. You know what Lucha Underground was doing? They were doing
edits.
They were doing backstage segments.
Right. There were cutscenes.
Right.
That led to actual fire-ass wrestling matches that were of PWG caliber. And it's like, where's that shit?
Yeah.
WWE.
Do I get that? Like,
when are we going to get Phoenix versus Mil Muertes?
Well, they did it one time.
God damn it.
The greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh my gosh.
They did it one time.
Listen, you guys can talk shit, but that match was great. I like that match.
Hey, I gave it 4.25.
Yeah. It wasn't 5 stars. It was like 4.25.
Yeah, I think I gave it 4.25
I gave it
also.
4.25. Like, granted, there was fuck shit in that match, so you could consider that cinematic, given that like they're doing superplexes into the ring with the fucking cameraman inside the ring to catch the camera angle of it. So you could consider that cinematic, but ultimately, like, that was a very good match. I don't really care how many times they had to reshoot it or whatever else. Like, they gave me a good match that night, and from WWE, that's so fucking few and far between these days. I'll take it.
Oh, since we're on cinematic and we don't have this as a separate thing, let me just shoot on this for a second. Fuck the piped in crowd noise.
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate that. I hate it from WWE. I hate it from AEW on the taped shows every other week. I hate it when they had the crowd noise app in New Japan. That was shit. And you know what else? Fuck the fucking what's it called? All the people.
Oh, the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's what's really bad. The product is better with the Thunderdome. Why is the product better with the Thunderdome? It shouldn't be better with the Thunderdome. The Thunderdome fucking sucks. Like, they're literally like coaching the people on how to react, and then like people, in the middle of matches, like they're doing like holy shit chants.
Bro, I'm convinced the Thunderdome ain't even real anymore.
This is awesome.
Like, I'm convinced that they got all the footage they needed, for like the first couple weeks of the Thunderdome, and they just playing that shit on loop in the background.
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced that shit is done now.
To me, that's all elements of cinematic wrestling.
To quote Kanye West, I guess we'll never know.
Right.
And we also, don't forget, we had the Bray Wyatt in, what's his face? Braun Strowman.
Right in the swamp.
The swamp. Yeah, the swamp.
That was shit.
Holy shit.
And it's like, you know what? The first one that they did was the Boneyard match, and it was pretty good. And I was like, okay, cool. And then they just kept giving me more, and giving me more, and giving me more.
Running it to the fucking ground like anything else.
Shit.
And
like, this is what I'll say with y'all, right? Like, y'all, Jeremy, you said your piece on the match with Cena and Wyatt, and like, I'm with you. Like, I thought it was I thought it was gibberish, but I still thought it was compelling. But like, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not a match. So like, if you're going to have me grade it as a match, I'm not going to give it something. I'm going to give it a bad grade. But if you were saying as far as like a piece of content, I thought it was interesting. But like. So like, that's one of the things with this stuff this year is like, so much of it was strayed away from actually being wrestling or some type of tied to actual what a wrestling match or simulation of wrestling is or whatever else. It was like, or it was just flat out just bad. It was like the overall majority of these things all had various versions of or various degrees of substitute. It was like, I don't care about the Boneyard match or the Stadium Stampede. Like those two, God bless them, but like the rest of your kind, line them up and on a firing squad and let go.
Yeah,
let go of the pistol.
The Matt Hardy and Sammy
Oh
Guevara
my god!
shit.
Yes.
But like
that one did stink.
To bounce off of what James was saying, you know, for me, I kind of liked the WrestleMania match between Cena and Bray Wyatt. Like, I found it entertaining. I found it like kind of David Lynchian in a sense, but it wasn't a wrestling match. And then to see these people on Reddit explain how, you know, this was psychological, what's happening. Like, when you have to like explain away the bullshit, when you can't just be like, okay, I liked it, but it was bullshit. I'm okay with saying I liked it, but I know it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That's respectable. But to spread the cap and and to just like dive deep into the cap, like it's fucked up. Like, it's just stupid.
And we had the whole thing with Otis and Tucker and War Machine and the Street Profits and the Ninjas.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I ain't forget about that.
Ludwig Borg is out here. Oh my god. Anyways, so are we done with this shit? Or
The Ninjas? You remember the Ninjas?
Yeah, so I'm talking about with the Ninjas and Otis and Tucker and the War Machine
and the bowling balls and
Street Profits.
Oh, and they snuck that in there too because they didn't advertise that shit. It just started out of nowhere.
And the turkey legs.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, the nunchucks. Were they turning nunchucks?
Yeah. My gosh.
Like, we talked about the Money in the Bank one. Do you remember when like Ray, one of the greatest baby faces of like of a generation, literally left AJ Styles underneath a weight bar to die? Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember when Dana Brooke
and then like decided to stick around because he heard someone in the bathroom, so he's like in a way just watching someone walk out the bathroom and it turned out to be Brother Love. And he smiled because that man just just blew up a damn bathroom stall.
Yes.
Like, what?
Do you remember when Dana Brooke was in that one room and she like knows the rules of the match, or you have to get to the roof and get the money in the bank
office.
So she goes to some office and she sees like a fake briefcase and tries to climb up there and get it, and it's like, you fucking numbskull.
No,
like, what are you doing?
Not only was that stupid, but the worst part was that Stephanie wasn't actually
there. Right. This green screen ass.
They green screened her like she was supposed to be there talking to Dana.
Remember when Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles brawled into Vince's office, and then Vince told me to get the fuck out of there.
And they both did.
And those two scared little boys
ran
out the room respectfully. He was like, "We're sorry, Mr. Vince. We're sorry, Mr. Vince."
Sorry.
And then went out there and was like, and then argued about who was the bigger kiss ass at the time.
Yeah, and you know what? There's probably someone who's like a FDS like bootlicker right now that's listening. That's like, you guys just don't get it. You guys just don't get it. No, we get it. It just fucking sucks.
and the one last thing,
we get it. We weren't compelled. At all.
And the last thing I want to end on is, so I guess majority of this match probably wasn't cinematic, but the freaking eye for an eye and freaking Rey Mysterio.
I was going to bring that up, but I didn't want to say.
Having to get his eye, quote unquote, eye pulled out or damaged or whatever, and that was just absolutely horrible.
And you know what? This shit's not ending because guess what? In 2 days, we're getting the...
Orton and
they're coming back. Fiend. They're like, don't close your worst match of the year voting yet. we got it. This is the reverse Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix about to happen. They're saying, we got one more match to give you, but so do they.
Remember that all-time worst cinematic match we gave you a few years back between these two guys? We're gonna top it.
Yes.
This is like Sharknado.
Okay, so I know we were about to move on from here, but like we did not like mention like the House of Horrors match between Loomis and Cameron Grimes. With
my god!
That was a cinematic match too, and that fucking sucked.
Yo, cinematic matches, you can get the fuck out of here.
I love it.
Oh man. All right, so
Undertaker's coming down to fight the Un-Americans.
Incredible.
So now start off the final round here of the 2020 FOH Draft. I will be drafting the Double Dome setup.
Yes!
Do it.
Bro, I am so sick of this double gold dash crap. you know what? It was the first time last year. We did it fine. You know, we have to get Naito over. We got to shoehorn him into the freaking Wrestle Kingdom and give him the main event. Give him the title. It's fine. We did it with Naito. It was fine. And now we're doing it all over again. Double Gold Dash. We have Kota Ibushi winning the G1 back-to-back and then dropping the briefcase so they can insert Jay White into the picture and do this whole double gold thing again. Oh, this is so stupid. They've built up this whole legacy and importance of the G1 Climax, and I get it with the briefcase. Eventually, they are probably going to have somebody lose it. But to have it to be Kota Ibushi, who's a guy that he's not getting any younger, and he's a guy that should have already probably been the IWGP champion, and now they're doing this whole thing, and you have Jay White taking the briefcase, and you have Naito as the champion, feeling sorry for Kota Ibushi. so because I feel bad for you, pal, I'm gonna give you a title match on January 4th. Like,
what a fucking build!
Like what? Like what? What? Like you telling me that they couldn't come up with some other way to set up this title match? Like,
yo, I've had my problems with New Japan throughout the year. I didn't like how they set up the double gold dome dash shit last year. I thought that was stupid. I was talking earlier on Twitter today. I was like, if you have the heart to get somebody there and then beat them, I can respect that like 99% of the time, unless it's like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34. But like they weakened Naito last year by just having him lose his way to the dome, and he beats Taichi, and it's like, so like and then but fast forward to this year, like you undercut the G1, you have Ibushi, you dump a bucket of water on him, he loses like an idiot to Jay White, and then he's running in the main event the same night. It's like, nah, bro, you lost. Like, fuck's going on? Right. And then, as you mentioned, Naito, out of the kindness of his heart, just
charity,
literally, like, just like, yeah, you know what? You know, you over here alone now. Your tag team partner going up. I wanted to fight you anyway, so I'll run it with you on the 4th. And then you're doing this to set them up for Jay White. So either A, you're going to like piss off all the Naito stands, which, those are never the most reasonable people. Oh yeah, y'all think I'm laughing? Get ready for the Keeping It Strong Style Awards that are due to drop next week. So, or maybe y'all have already heard them by this point.
Oh, I mean, voting just closed, so we would need to tabulate those votes.
Yeah, I'll be tabulating tomorrow morning.
No, let's do it tonight.
Yeah,
it's lit.
Or you're cutting off Kota Ibushi again, and cutting his nuts off after you cut him off after the G1, or you're gonna beat him in the dome. I think this is just a terribly lazy plan that was necessitated by stuff other than storytelling. It was like the business of the double dome has pulled this down into the muck for me.
There's a lot of issues at hand. I mean, on the one hand, one thing that is probably going to happen is Ibushi's going to win back-to-back, and then it's going to be his big push, and people are going to kind of forget how terrible the actual build to this is. And on the one hand, that's kind of admirable, because that's what happened with Naito last year, and people forget how terrible the actual booking of the story was. But, you can't hear us?
No, I'm saying not me, motherfucker. I remember that shit. That shit was stupid. I think of the Naito build from last year. The Double Dome was fucking stupid. I think the Young Bucks and the FTR thing was fucking stupid. I think this is fucking stupid. I don't care if you win the title. Ultimately, like, the achievement is cool, but once you look back and be like, hey, none of that made any fucking sense.
Right, and this is a company that has been, pretty much heralded as having some of the best booking, rightly so.
I'll say this. I'm glad when Kenny Omega won the title in 2018. God. I'm glad I don't have that feeling like it didn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know.
I'm glad I didn't have that feeling.
Anyways, but the thing here is, like, you're kind of hurting yourself because ultimately, if they weren't at a limited capacity to draw for the dome, how well would these two matches have done, you know, given the build, given the anticipation? At least from what I'm hearing from the diehards, at least from what I'm hearing from almost everybody unanimously is pretty much saying, like, a lot of this doesn't make sense. One of the biggest things that doesn't make sense is, why is Jay White, as the challenger, able to dictate what day he is going to get his title defense? The actual physical briefcase, which is supposed to be representation of the contract, says January 4th, meaning he was supposed to get the title shot on the 4th, and then the 5th was kind of up in the air. Instead, he said, no, I'm calling my shot. I'm getting the 5th. And everyone's like, all right, cool.
So ain't y'all upset about this?
You can do that. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, and the problem here is, like, the storytelling's just not compelling, and it's nonsensical. And that's not something that you want when you're talking about the IWGP title. It's not something you want when you're talking about Wrestle Kingdom. I'm fine with there being 2 days. Another problem is the fact that they've got the two titles wrapped up into one. They had a whole year to split this shit. If they would have split this shit like they should have months and months and months ago, then they could have had two titles that were worthy of headlining each dome night. Instead, they've got to have a convoluted, nonsensical, non-heat garnering angle. Nobody, like, right now, everybody wants to see Naito and Ibushi, but it's not based off the story. It's based off of history and the fact that these two guys have fire-ass matches. It's not like everyone's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see who wins so I can figure out who's going to fight Jay White.
We're figuring out who's going to get fucked off of this. That's what is, I think, the more compelling thing.
Someone is getting fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about this for months now. It's like, or last couple months. It's like, I don't understand this. I mean, actually, it was since Power Struggles when they had the match, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever since Power Struggle, when I was just like, it's a clap crowd. All they do is clap, and then when Jay White pinned that man with a fucking
schoolboy
schoolboy or a jackknife cover, and he gets both feet on the ropes and he hits 3, the crowd literally goes, whoa, you know, like just a gasp, and then like for half a second, then they realize, oh yeah, we're not supposed to make any noise, and like the crowd just goes completely silent. You're just like, that's not a good sound. That's not a good sound. It's not. So for me, you know, my whole thing is like, you know, even if they had done it the other way, where the Jay White match is first and the Ibushi match is 5th, it makes it more narratively satisfying, from the sense of, yeah, Ibushi's a big fucking loser, whatever else, but like Naito is this gigantic babyface and wants to go out there and prove himself, and now it's like, it's still there in that way, but it's like, all right, we know that like either Ibushi's winning this thing or Jay White's leaving on the dome on the 5th with both belts, and it's like, I don't want to watch that shit necessarily. You know, it just leaves it. It's just like, you go into it knowing that, like, you just going into it and you just feel like you're getting fucked with.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
That's kind of how it feels for me.
I still think there's a chance that Naito could be leaving.
I think so too.
I mean, business has been fine with Naito as a champion. You don't know exactly when you're going to get 100% capacity crowds back. Like, I could see them just wanting to just go with status quo and just be fine. It's like, yeah, let's just have Naito.
Just keep the train rolling.
Right.
The real scary thing is that the two biggest stars that they have from a money standpoint are Jay White and Naito. And that, hypothetically, it's true. It is true.
Over Okada.
Well, I mean,
or Tanahashi.
I'm talking about in this situation.
Oh, this fake situation they created fully of their own of their own consciousness. I'm not conscious, but like of their own storytelling. Yeah, they could have easily put Tanahashi or Okada into this if they wanted to. Yeah, they decided to do other things
that they booked themselves into a corner with. The problem here is, like, they need to make a star out of Ibushi. They haven't set him up to actually be a star. And there is a possibility that, who knows, with the politics and everything involved, that they might just end up going with Jay White and Naito on night 2, which I would be fucking pissed about, because the whole story is supposed to be a redemption angle for Ibushi, but they haven't set him up properly for that to even happen. They think that they can catch lightning in a bottle because it worked for Naito last year, and it reminds me of what they've done in WWE with, like, the whole like Daniel Bryan thing. It's like, oh well, we pushed him to set him up, and it's like, well,
that ain't gonna work for everybody.
It doesn't work for everybody. It's not competent. And one other thing is like, we've complained for years about how years ago they started splitting these big events into multiples. New Beginning is one of the biggest examples where like they took one really big event and then stretched it out into 2 or 3 events so that they can make more money, but then they gave us watered down versions of the show. Well, that's what they're doing with Wrestle Kingdom, and they didn't have to do that. Wrestle Kingdom was at a point to where, with how much talent they have in the roster, they weren't able to get everybody on there. If they just booked this shit competently, they could have 2 really strong-ass Wrestle Kingdom cards back-to-back. Instead, we've got a main event scenario that just doesn't make fucking sense. And it's like, will it be fine come, February or April? Sure, it might, but like, why would you waste and squander the opportunity to have 2 really, really big, main events? It's never good when people don't know what the January 5th show is even going to be.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of questions up in there because you have that. You have the whole double goal thing with the junior title with Hiromu and ELP with the winner facing Taiji the next night. And so there's a lot of question marks for January 5th.
What if somebody gets hurt? And I hate to say that, but like...
Right. Oh, because, Ibushi and Naito have a tendency to try to murder each other on purpose.
Right.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. So, the Double Dome setup for Wrestle Kingdom 15
can get the fuck out of here.
All right. So, for the second pick of the third round...
This main event sucks, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Big
also,
time.
Why is Crush on the un-American side? Isn't he Hawaiian? Isn't that his gimmick?
Wow. I think he became a Japanese sympathizer.
Oh, okay.
Because he was in Hawaii. Yes. Don't ask me how I know this, but I believe Crush became a Japanese sympathizer with Yokozuna.
They've got 2 Canadians who are essentially allies of ours and good friends to the north.
Yep.
And then they've got a Japanese guy in Yokozuna who's not actually Japanese, he's Samoan.
Yep.
And then they've got a Hawaiian guy. This is the least un-American team of un-Americans you could ever book together.
Man, Vince is doing what he want, freestyling. Speaking of Vince doing what he want, the next pick.
I don't even know what I'm going to pick after you.
So, Charlotte strikes back, much like the Empire. You thought you got rid of her 1 year? She came back because things were owed. I'm drafting Charlotte Flair, winning the Royal Rumble, and setting up to murder Rhea Ripley's momentum and fuck NXT even further and get these things because she was owed. So, when Ronda Rousey came to WWE wanted Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 35. They both gave them both showcase matches at WrestleMania 34, and all they had to do was get them there. You saw what happened. They put the wheels in motion by sending Charlotte to the other shows so they would not even touch each other, essentially. One problem happens for WWE, that is. Somebody catches lightning in a bottle because they beat people with their fucking move. It's like 7 times, and the crowd actually started liking somebody a lot. And then Becky Lynch ends up over. We have the man. We have them attempting to turn her heel. People rejecting that. And then ultimately us wanting Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. When it comes to the Royal Rumble, WWE seemingly, pulls their head out their ass because they have to hot shot some shit for Survivor Series. They do the Charlotte and Ronda match, give us an inconclusive finish, and then they start putting the fuck job in motion from there. Ronda fucks them both at TLC when they're fighting Asuka. They get to the Royal Rumble. Vince knows that Becky has to win this Royal Rumble. They kind of
or they'll riot out that bitch.
Yeah, or shit will not be right, essentially. But never fear.
The whole rest of that show gets hijacked if Becky doesn't win that Rumble.
But never fear. Vince has a plan for that. In this Royal Rumble, we give Becky Lynch this fucking knee injury that she has to have throughout the whole build. Charlotte somehow weasels her ass in there, I'm sure you guys can check out the Fuck Out of Here draft last year. I believe James drafted this #1 overall. You don't need to hear all this from me. So,
it's funny that you went over this in my mind. I was thinking, like, I could have swore I went over this in like painstaking detail just a year ago on this very same show.
So pause this show, load that up, listen to it, come back, and I'm right back here now. So this year, Charlotte, after the worst year of her career in 2019, it goes through. It's time for the Royal Rumble again. Instead of it's so fucking stupid what happened. So Becky Lynch has been the dominant champion all year. However, they've run Charlotte and Becky into the ground. Right. Bayley is on SmackDown just being so-so. Really wouldn't make sense for Charlotte to go over there. They've done that a lot of times. She's caught up. Also, they don't know what the fuck to do with the SmackDown women's division at that time because they have Sasha and Bayley, and they're together, but there's a bunch of low card muck around them. They package them all up together and put them in like a 6-way at WrestleMania or whatever. But never fear, there's always a plan for Charlotte. We're still gonna have you win the Royal Rumble. Why? Because we were supposed to let you win last year so you could fight Ronda Rousey in the main event and beat her. So, what do? I got it. This person that we have all this momentum for, and she's got this like electric challenger that she's kind of having a feud with, Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley's the champion. Charlotte will challenge Rhea Ripley. The old Charlotte versus the new Charlotte. It can't go wrong. And then it did. It does.
Well, hold on.
They never explain why the fuck the Royal Rumble winner who want to challenge the developmental champion. It's fucking dumb. From here, I'll turn it over to James.
I just want to throw this one point out, then I'll let you have it. Their match was great at WrestleMania. Continue. Go on.
Okay.
Everything else sucked, but go ahead.
So, Charlotte wins the match at WrestleMania. After comedic things such as Rhea Ripley doing the stomp during the run-in.
Oh my gosh.
Completely just a terrible fortune of luck. Them dangling Bianca Belair like they were actually going to throw her in. Anybody that believes that is... Yeah. Bianca Belair. Right. And then Charlotte never moves a number at all in NXT ever. They were calling her Charlotte 7000 because that's how many people she's popping the demo. You start thinking about it and it's like, wow, why did we have to move heaven and earth just to get Charlotte quote unquote what she was owed? She goes through NXT, wins the title, loses it without doing a job, loses it without ever looking weak. It was like those old stories you hear about Triple H not being allowed to look weak in the video game preview photos. She loses the NXT title. We ain't seen her since.
And we had Triple H come out and say, this is all part of a story, guys.
Yes.
Be patient. It's all part of a long-term build for Rhea Ripley. Rhea's going to be more over by the time the story's over. Well,
Rhea Ripley's less over. This is part of the descent.
It's literally been a year from this time that Rhea won the title. It was in October when she won the title from Shayna Baszler.
December 18, 2019.
Yeah, so we're literally a year from when Rhea won the title, and she,
to this day,
a year to the day,
and she is more under than she was last year when she won the freaking title.
Yeah. Just a staggering amount of just like politics and stubbornness and like lack of vision. They, like Rich previously mentioned, that they couldn't do Bayley versus Charlotte at WrestleMania because Bayley and Charlotte had been done to death during the fall of 2019. So there was no reason to go back to there. They couldn't do Becky again because they had ran that to death in all 2018 and 19. So they decided to go with the developmental champion calls her shot and challenges the quote-unquote greatest woman in WWE history. And then she proceeds to, in every physical exchange, get her ass whooped at every single point. Gets big leagued. Only ever puts Charlotte down when she has the help of Bianca Belair to come to the defense of Bianca Belair after Charlotte also big league Bianca. It was just like, hey man, NXT 2019 is the best division of women's wrestling WWE has ever put out. 2020 is probably second in NXT. But this was just a dark cloud that stood over the division. It stifled so many people. And like the only thing you can say out of it is luckily like Io Shirai had torn her MCL by catching Toni Storm on a dive for 2 months. So she only got to get involved at the very tail end of it and won the title without giving too much of the stink rubbed onto her with it. As she's proceeded to, once she became the champion and Charlotte got the fuck out of there, proceeded to go on a fucking incredible run. Like, it just sucked. It just sucked. The only thing good that came out of it was the match. Like the program stunk. It totally showed that Rhea was. It totally portrayed Rhea as over her head and swimming in deep water. And then she proceeds to, during the match, that's exactly, it played out the same as the build. Like, this is like one of the worst builds. Like, it reminds me of a lot of like the WrestleMania 34 build between Brock and Roman. Where it's like, you have the babyface in the situation, like completely gets outclassed throughout the whole build, and then at the end, like, gets their ass whooped, and then you're just like, well, what? Okay, what did it? Who needed this win more? The babyface. So why the fuck did they lose?
Josh, you got anything on this one?
You know, the biggest thing with this is just like, people didn't want this.
No one did.
Like,
except like the main roster stands who insisted that this was
the people who think the Four Horsewomen are the greatest thing for the industry.
Get the fuck out of here, by the way.
And ultimately, like, I was fine with it when it initially happened because I was like, you know what? Who ended up being in the final two with her? Was it her and Rhea Ripley?
Charlotte and Shayna Baszler.
Okay. And
the person that was actually wrestling the champion.
Everyone expected Shayna Baszler to kind of go over, and then Charlotte won, and I was like, you know what? That makes sense from a certain standpoint. They could probably like make something out of this. So I was like reluctantly like willing to like give them the benefit of the doubt. But then when it came down, I was like, okay, well, she's gonna end up fighting Rhea. Rhea's like literally on the cusp of stardom. They're using this possibly as a chance to propel Rhea Ripley. But then ultimately what ended up happening was they buried Rhea. They made Charlotte again, which she was already made. And then after it was all said and done, they like promised us that there was a story that was being played out. The story never got played out. And then Rhea Ripley never got the win back. She ended up being made to look like a loser in the triple threat by being the one who took the fall to put over Io. And then kind of just went away for a while. And when she came back, she was less of a star. And this is a star-driven business where you're supposed to make people. And where's Charlotte? Charlotte's gone. She's been gone since then.
Taking pictures on IG, living the life.
Yeah.
And shout out to her.
That part about it with Charlotte is like, if you were Charlotte, you won't want to come back to this situation either. But like, she got hurt. She had to get surgery. So she had to go away. Nobody's begrudging her for getting injured, right? But I don't even want to say but because but sounds like I'm like as if I'm saying like, one thing just be politically correct. I'm going to say it's just an unfortunate situation where it's like all this shit happened and then like you had somebody that could like the Horsewomen are great. Y'all know I love the Horsewomen. The thing is they need people to fight besides each other. And like it was such a struggle for so long for the Horsewomen just to get to the point to where like they were pushed to the level that they deserve to be based off the merit of their work and their characters and their level of overness. They're there now, and like
as Sasha's about to wrestle Carmella tomorrow.
Sorry?
I said as Sasha's about to wrestle Carmelo tomorrow.
Right. And now that they're there, like, they are, like, treated like how it was similar to how it was like, why the fuck are the Bellas getting pushed to this level? And it's like, I don't mean that to say that, like, anybody is undeserving of whatever push they got. I'm just saying it's like, they're OP, and, like, if they did jobs to other people that are, like, could be somebody in the future to do something with, like, it would have made all the sense in the world for them to have done the Rhea and Charlotte match. Rhea wins. Rhea goes back to NXT, comes back later. They have a rematch. Charlotte gets her win back. That means, and you continue it on after that or whatever. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yep.
Hell, they made a star out of doing that kind of sort of thing when they did Kevin Owens versus John Cena when Owens came up. It's like, if you're going to bring somebody up from NXT and present this on some certain level or whatever else, they have to win the first match. You understood this with Kevin Owens. You understood this with NXT in the Survivor Series thing or whatever else this year. Why will you not understand it for this one, especially when it's like you care more about stars than the actual brand of NXT? I know you do.
To finish up with kind of what I was saying, and I agree with you there, James. They promised us that a story was playing out and that this all was going to pay off in the end, that was all going to make sense. And then recently on a media call, when that was all called back to Triple H, he's like, well, COVID happened. Well, it's like, well, the match happened when COVID was already happening. So
every single one of these matches, the WrestleMania match, the Takeover in Your House match, and everything since then.
So ultimately, they took someone who was literally on the cusp of superstardom, especially coming off of like Survivor Series, coming off of War Games, looked like someone that they could print money with. Like you mentioned, James, someone that they could have as a future opponent. And maybe down the line they will, but like they blew an opportunity, and it was just so that they could put another number on the record of Charlotte Flair, where, like, how many title reigns she had now? Like 12, 13? And
the race to get to Rick.
Yeah,
it's 12.
It's 12.
It's 12 where one of the NXT titles
don't count.
Her first NXT don't count, but this one does.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Which makes sense because Ric Flair's got like 20-something reigns. All his reigns anyways. But, they're trying to get her to Rick's record, but they've done it in, 5 years? So
yeah, it's so transparent and, like...
This shit's bullshit. Yeah. And you know what? I think eventually... I do think Charlotte deserved to get a Royal Rumble. I don't know if it was this one, but I agree. She deserved to get one, and I agree. And it was fine that she got it, but everything that followed after it fucking sucked. And you know what? Leading up to it kind of fucking sucks. So the whole thing kind of just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And also, we spent so much time talking about the Rhea part that we kind of glossed over. We talked about it a little bit, but like we glossed over the fact that, like, look at the damage that Rumble win did to Shayna and the part where, like, she's now in this stupid storyline where she's
with Nia Jax,
with Nia, and they're bullying Lana, and now like Asuka's come to save Lana. That's fucking nonsense. Another awful storyline that involves Lana from 2020. And also, like, the collateral damage of all of this was Bianca on NXT at the time when, like, we knew she was coming up. Her send-off was supposed to be her losing the match at Portland to Rhea, and we go from there. But it's like she got tied back into this thing. She got fed to Charlotte afterwards. She got whooped by Charlotte after she lost to the Portland match, and then she goes to the main roster after she had that incredible run in the Rumble and made a name for herself. And then, like, she shows up at WrestleMania. She tells you that I go here now, and they've done jack shit with her since.
I agree.
Like, they murdered 3 of the 4 top prospects in the women's division on NXT that just had finished having the best year-long run of any WWE program in the women's division, and murdered 3 of them dead.
This is like Cena Nexus, like.
Yeah.
Like,
literally is squandering talent.
I never want Io to ever go up to the main roster. I never want to see her up there. For what?
Yeah, so
what? She's gonna continue having 4-star matches up there?
She's gonna have to eventually wrestle one of them sorry people that's up there. Io versus Lacey, be there.
She's got Lana.
You think they would ever? You think they would get as over as Asuka? Because I don't.
Io versus Carmella.
Io versus Carmella. That would definitely get booked.
Yeah.
Io versus Nia. Be there.
Io's gonna get put through a table 15 weeks in a row by
Jesus.
fucking what's her face.
So Charlotte Strikes Back. Things Were Owed can get the fuck out of here.
All right, young boy. You got the third pick in the last round.
So I was trying to think pretty hard here. I looked at, we've got about 7 different things we haven't drafted. And I was like, I need to speak on something that I can actually speak on. And like everything that we brought up with the Charlotte story was the reasons I don't watch WWE anymore. So, and a lot of this stuff is WWE centric. So I'm going to bring up something that I can definitely talk about. And it's AEW's handling of the Matt Hardy all-out situation.
Yikes.
And while we were, while everyone was kind of talking about Charlotte, I went ahead and kind of looked back at the, because I'm inebriated. Although, not as bad as other years. Other years I've been spilling water on my shit, so it's not that bad. But I went ahead and rewatched just very briefly the video footage of what happened at All Out between him and Sammy Guevara, and it's super fucked up to this day. And here's the bottom line: they planned a spot. They were gonna jump off of a crane, do a spear from Sammy Guevara to Matt Hardy through 2 tables. The tables were too close to the crane. The crane was too high up, and they fucked up and they missed one of the tables. Matt Hardy hits his head on the concrete. He's out for, and keep in mind, it's Survivor Series 93 is over. You guys might want to pick another thing to put on.
What you want, Rich?
Just pick something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pick something from 1993 WWF.
Jesus.
Anyways, so Matt Hardy smacks his head off the concrete, and he's unconscious literally for minutes in a last man standing match. And while he's just like laying there, you know, they're not counting him out or whatever, which is fine. I'm not even like bringing up that point, but he's just out. His face is turning purple. He's completely incoherent. He's unconscious, literally unconscious for minutes. Then when he finally starts coming to, Sammy tries to help him up. He's dragging this man. He has no footing. I mean, literally no footing. He's getting dragged. His feet are literally like dragging on the floor. Then Matt Hardy starts coming to. He tries to fight back, and they stumble. He hits his head on the concrete again, and then he tries to grab Sammy, pulls his underwear or his trunks almost all the way off. They try to help him. Eventually, and the whole time, like, Aubrey, the referee, she's throwing the X up. At one point, she's like asking for the bell. They're not giving the bell. Then Dr. Sampson, who's supposed to be the head medical person, stands there. He's holding Matt. They go away. They go straight to like the crowd. They go to, you know, the commentators. And for a long period of time, you don't see any action. Then finally, after like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes maybe, Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara come into the main, you know, what's
the Concord,
the amphitheater.
Yeah, the amphitheater area. They start fighting, and then eventually it all finishes with them climbing up onto a crane and Matt Hardy jumping off of a crane after being unconscious and concussed. I heard a lot of people make a lot of different remarks about this, saying that shit happened, it was a blown spot, that the company wasn't negligent, that they made the right call, that, you know, these things happen in wrestling. Let me tell you a couple things first. Number one, they clearly didn't have enough planning, because anybody who knows anything about basic physics knows that the spacing of this stunt wasn't right, because they had the fucking tables too close. They had the shit too far. Anybody that could have known the way that was going to go, this guy was going to hit his head or something bad was going to fucking happen. If you're going to do something that was this dangerous, you should have had a lot of pre-planning. You should have had people running through the spot with crash pads ahead of time. Clearly, they didn't have that happening. Then once it finally did happen, the way they handled it was completely inappropriate. When you look at any kind of, they cited that Dr. Sampson followed concussion protocol. There's no way he followed concussion protocol, because when you read online the concussion protocols of the NFL, the NHL, or any other major sporting organization, none of them do what they did. They do not let a man who was unconscious for minutes at a time
go back to wrestling inside of like 3 minutes.
Not only just wrestling, climb a crane that's 12 feet in the air and jump off the fucking shit. There's no way that this would happen. When you read what is constituted, well, there's usually at least a minimum of 15 minutes waiting protocol for them to do concussion protocol testing. I don't know what kind of testing Dr. Sampson did, but it is not in line with anything that any doctor
Man,
does.
this some new shit.
It was a work.
Anywhere out there. So they didn't have proper placement, proper training. Whoever was agenting or whatever this match, they didn't do the right shit. They, it's not just shit happens, it was a blown spot. No, it was fucking negligent, because when you do something that's this high risk, you have to have a lot of preparation. Safety is the name of the game when you're putting people's bodies on the line when it comes to pro wrestling. Thankfully, we haven't had too much of this in AEW, but there have been some issues. But this was the worst of all of them. And then, the fact of the matter, going back to the concussion protocol stuff, is like they took a couple minutes and then they just let this guy go out there because they didn't want to blow the booking of the match.
The stipulation.
Because if Matt Hardy lost, he was going to have to lose his career. Well, sometimes maybe if he was going to actually lose, they're lucky he didn't actually lose something from his health or his life because of how bad this was.
Yeah.
He might have actually lost his career because of how bad this shit was.
Yeah.
I mean, it completely took the air out of the entire fucking building, out of everybody.
That's where I was going to go. Yeah.
Rich and I were there live.
Yeah. It was just like a odd feeling in the air for like an hour after that.
Yeah. Like it totally, killed the whole vibe of the show.
And the thing with it all is like, there are people who literally just think like, oh, well, shit happens. No, shit. Yeah, shit happens. But when it's this high risk, this, potentially detrimental, you need to have a lot of preparation. They didn't have that preparation. Then once it did happen, they did not handle it correctly at all. Tony Khan did not make the right call. Dr. Sampson did not make the right call. And then post match, we're hearing stories from Tony Khan saying everything was cool, and then you're hearing stuff from Rebby Hardy saying no, shit was not cool. No, this man was in the hospital for a long period of time. And then when he did come back, he didn't wrestle for a long period of time. Was it because he was cleared? He clearly wasn't cleared because he wasn't wrestling.
Wasn't his first match this week his first real match this week on Dynamite?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, the match he had with Sammy Guevara last pay-per-view, like that was a cinematic match with like that was bullshit. He didn't actually have to work.
He was in a battle royal, I think, the week before, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, that's right. He was in the Dynamite dozen.
Withdrawn. Just for me, it's just like, this is a complete failure. I thought at the time he had fucking died. I could not believe the match continued. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then when he climbed the thing, I was like, how do we even know he has the capability to to not fucking fall off and die and or even come back down after whatever happened? I could not believe that. And it was like, just for this match, like nobody's gonna be like, oh, you promise if this match can continue, throw up double X, rule it a no contest instead of saying that Matt Hardy lost and move on with your day. It was so weird, so dumb.
If we had a lot more time, I would read to you the actual concussion protocol that I have right here in front of me that the NFL and the NHL follow. But
y'all can look that up.
There is a list of different things that need to kind of be in place for them to immediately assess whether they think someone should be able to come back into play. Almost every single one of those protocols, every single one of those conditions were met by Matt Hardy. And anyone with common sense could see this man's face turned purple. He was completely asleep. His head hit the concrete multiple times. The first time from a very, very high place. And then he had no footing. He was incoherent. He didn't know who he was, where he was, what was happening. They didn't protect their talent. That's the biggest thing. They didn't protect him.
This man literally almost got deleted.
Like, I remember I don't know if Floyd's listening to this, but like, I'm gonna get him. He got to hear this one. Like, I remember a 2014 playoffs between the Colts and the Chiefs, where the Chiefs had like a 23-point lead that they ended up blowing because like half the team dropped like flies with injuries, and namely the biggest one was their star running back Jamal Charles, one of the most underrated running backs in NFL history, had a concussion. They took his helmet. He had to sit under concussion protocol as their team is blowing this lead. He never sees the floor again, or the court. He never sees the field again, and Andrew Luck comes back from like 23 points down, and they win that game. I'm sorry, like if Jamal Charles has to miss a whole entire football game, then I'm sorry.
And you would think
Matt Hardy has to miss this fucking fake fight.
You would think Tony Khan being involved in like an NFL franchise would like be aware or conscious of like concussion stuff, like with an athlete. It looks like that was like the first time something had happened in AEW like that. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any like real experience with that, and hopefully they learned from that. And you know, hopefully there's not a next time for something like this, but hopefully they're better prepared for it, because this was like a lot of like, okay, it seems like there's a lot of covering up going on. There's a directive. There's like, hey, don't mention whatever. And, you know, people have the right to their, you know, privacy when it comes to like health stuff. But like, this was so high profile that, you know, everyone was looking for answers, and they never really came up with great ones.
I was in an argument a few days later with someone in our group chat. I won't name any names, but someone that I respect and I'm good friends with, but they were basically advocating that they handled it correctly. And I'm going to read to you what I wrote. I said, Matt laid motionless for several seconds. His face was purple. When he finally came to, he was also incoherent. Sammy had to help him to his feet, and he still stumbled and fell some more, hit his head on the concrete. I'm not a doctor, but he was clearly in no condition to continue. And then they said, I'll take the doctor's word. And I said, I'll take the video evidence that we all saw.
And that's the thing, right? When we talk about protocols, whatever infrastructure they have in place, like there has to be some common sense guideline or fail-safe in place where it's like, I don't care if whoever doctor that is on the payroll has cleared him. I'm looking at this, and this is beyond the pale. I'm pulling the plug on it. Y'all can be mad all you want to. I don't care. Nobody's gonna get mad. Nobody once the tension and the heat settles down the next day or hours after is gonna say, you know what? Fuck you, Tony. You screwed this match up. You screwed the fans up or whatever else because you decided to end this match where it looked like someone may have fucking died.
You ruined it, damn it.
On the way towards dying.
I said,
no one's gonna do that.
I'm not gonna take.
And if they do, fuck them.
I'm not gonna take the 1 minute clearance that led to a concussed man climbing a scaffold and then jumping off. Holy shit. We're not gonna ignore the very, very obvious here. This doctor didn't follow what any other sports concussion protocol calls for. They should have called this shit. And there's a lot of things that they could have done on the fly. They could have called a no contest. They could have done something opposite. Instead, they let the shit go on. They're lucky.
They could have gave us a replacement match.
They're lucky that it didn't go worse than it actually did.
Look, yeah, so
AEW's handling of the Matt Hardy concussion incident can
get the fuck out of here.
All right, James, you got the last pick in the last round.
And after that, we're going to rip the rest of this shit to bits, I guess, real quick.
Yeah.
Although there's a lot, so we might need to go through it like...
Okay. I'm going to go with the FTR versus the Young Bucks build. I think it is, from a major storyline perspective, the biggest miss in AEW history to this point. And it was so weird because, like, it never got super hot. It stayed in, like, second gear for all those months. And then once it happened, it just, like, it made you, for me anyway, it made me just be like, I can never root for Hangman Page until he seeks redemption from the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega for what he's done. Because as you're supposed to cheer. They built that whole thing around like you're supposed to cheer for Hangman, even though Hangman is being this passive aggressive asshole to these people that are supposedly his friends, and then he screws these friends after he already won to prove his point of his value and his belief in himself earlier in the year, and then like he doesn't want to face these guys ever again, so he gets easily manipulated by FTR, and then like so the heat doesn't really go to FTR, it goes to Hangman for being an asshole. So there's like, okay, but you still want to be the babyface. Okay, great. He's move him to the side. He's damaged. He's damaged right now. You got to fix that. You have the Young Bucks who then from that point for about a month, 6 weeks or whatever it was, act like dicks and break Tony Schiavone's phone, super kick what's his boy's name? Marvez.
Yeah,
super kicks him for no reason.
Stealing money, Marvez.
Yeah, super kicking private parties, babyface that did nothing wrong, screw them over left and right. And then ultimately for them to come out and say like 2 weeks out, it's like, well, we're just doing this with Edge. We know this what it takes to be FTR. That's not an Edge. You're just being assholes. And then they shoot the angle to get sympathy on this asshole Matt Jackson with his leg, which means he's hampered or whatever. I was just like, well, that would have worked a lot better if he wasn't an asshole the past month and a half that I just had to watch TV of him doing that.
Yeah.
So then they end up having this match, and it's a great match, but I'm like, for the life of me, I'm like, what does this build have to do with this match? Like, if you love it because like they're spamming these old 90s WWE finishes, cool. Like, I can see you liking it in the vacuum. But it doesn't jive with what the fuck they just told me for the past 5 months leading up to this point. Like, they're having a match that we've seen similar to other Young Bucks matches that are quite frankly not as physical as those other Young Bucks matches. But like, this is supposed to be this match where like these two teams hate each other's fucking guts, and they're just basically going out there and having a normal Young Bucks pay-per-view match. As opposed to they're brawling all around the place, they're trying to kill each other. It's like, nah, they're having a normal Young Bucks match. Then throughout that whole match, there is no story added or element that's added to like the storyline of, well, the Young Bucks have to, get on FTR's level to some extent to show how nasty and cutthroat they are as FTR is by, slapping that idiot Hangman's head. Like, they just had their match as babyface, and then they wanted the end once Hair does a Young Bucks move, more stylistically a Young Bucks move, and he crashes and burns and eats a foot. It's like, all of this stuff you laid out, none of it was used in this story. I've seen the Young Bucks earlier this year have one of the best tag, or maybe the best tag match I've ever seen in my life, based off of all the breadcrumbs they dropped in here. How did you do this here in February and then do this in September, and it's like not even there? And it's like, if y'all want to, so I'm sitting here watching like 4.25, and I get people yelling at me about like, you're waiting this way too low. Well, what do you give it? A quarter star more? Well, what the fuck? We're arguing over a quarter star.
Yeah, man, this was a pretty disappointing build, especially for a match that had been built up for so long, and with the teases on being the Elite for several years. With, they're doing the FTR after the revival thing, and that was a whole build. And also, there's a big dream match, like what would happen if the Young Bucks and the Revival face each other. And that was pretty much the main story there. Like, these two teams that we thought would never face each other are facing each other. Two teams that are considered two of the best tag teams in the world are going to lock horns. They didn't really play into that whatsoever. And then, like, yeah, you mentioned, James, that they had the Young Bucks being assholes and super kicking everybody. And it was like, okay, like, why am I supposed to get behind them to take out FTR? And now, now they're doing this last-minute angles. It was really weird because for the most part, AEW has been very good with the stories they tell and building stories and building up big money matches. And it almost feels like there was too many pots, too many chefs in the kitchen for the storyline, and that's kind of leading to what we got here.
Yeah, like when it came down to it, I was always going to root for the Young Bucks against FTR when the day came for the match.
Right.
But it was such a confusing like way to get there. First, like remember they started teaming these guys up, which it's not necessarily foreign to see like adversaries team with each other before like a big match or something, right? But not these fucking guys. Right. Like maybe you can put them together, and then I believe they did do a match one time where it was like, all right, we're gonna do our stuff in front of you, and then we're gonna do our stuff, and it's like you let the tension like kind of go from there. But throughout it just seemed like there was never really great talking to get you there. Like there was decent talking, like Matt Jackson did all right. Nick Jackson offered nothing in that regard.
Really, Matt Jackson's not a good promo?
No, Matt's a good promo. Nick.
That's crazy.
And then FTR like were just exposed. Like, because keep in mind, FTR like all the shit that they've talked for so long, like it was just like, is this it?
The best they could come up with was cutting promos about Dave Meltzer's star ratings.
Yeah. And then like I don't think they leaned hard enough into like from the Bucks and be like, yo, y'all won't even fucking have a name right now if it wasn't for us. Like they could have gone to so many more interesting places, and luckily the match worked out in the end. So there's only so much had that match stunk like the Hangman and Kenny versus FTR. Oh, like I would be way more on board with this, but I loved the match. So like, but I would have loved it more had the storyline worked out.
I think for me is like one of the problems was like, okay, they debuted FTR super early, and one of the things was like, well, they got a lot of time to fill between now and the time they actually wrestle. Well,
And we're thinking like, yo, maybe fans will be back, all that stuff. Like,
right.
We're thinking this for all this time, and then we're starting to realize, yo, ain't no fans fucking coming.
Right.
So part of it for me was like, okay, well, maybe you should have just gone to it earlier, but B, maybe you should have waited and held off on their debut if you didn't have anything creatively that was going to be fulfilling enough to basically warrant this feud, being worthy of the build that it got. But so many of the decisions that they made along the way, especially like you said, the bad promos, the lack of actual like story, and then the weird stuff with the Bucks being like quasi like tweener / heels, just it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll give it a chance because there's some goodwill at this company, but then it never really paid off the way that you expected to. It was like after the match happened, everything just kind of reset. It was like, all right, I guess that kind of all just didn't matter. It was superfluous to the match. But the biggest thing is like for how good this company has been at booking feuds and how good creatively they have been, I don't understand why there wasn't somebody, and I don't know who the main creative mind is, but the one person out there is like, it seems like whatever Cody's involved with as far as a booking standpoint seems to be pretty much fire and old school, and this is an old school feud. Maybe he should have just had the helms at this thing because it just didn't line up or just seem to be at the same caliber of what you'd expect from AEW all along the way. Like, we knew the match was going to be good. The match ended up being good, and it was great, but the build to it was pretty much panned universally, which kind of sucks because, like Jeremy said, we waited for this for so many years. Mm-hmm. And coming off of it, I mean, the Bucks feel like seem better, but like FTR seems way worse. Seems like... Yeah. So I mean, I'm not impressed with it at all. Like the delivery of this feud, the build to it, and sure, I am excited for a rematch down the line. But I hope whatever build they give us is maybe they can build off all the good quote unquote storytelling that they did in the match. Maybe they have something more. But like, I think of like the story that led up to the Bucks and the Golden Lovers, and it was years beyond. I mean, light years beyond this. Yeah, it just was. And
Hangman and Kenny versus the Young Bucks was light years beyond this too.
Right, yeah. And they didn't need anything that was like crazy complicated. The story was pretty simple. I know they had a lot of time to fill, but that's kind of their fault because they're the bookers, they're the exec VPs, they're the ones who decide this shit. Like they should have had something better in place. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing for me was just like, you look at, for example, the Hangman and Kenny stuff for the final for the number one contendership tournament, right? And you saw all the stuff that they had built throughout, literally from the time they tagged up. So that's like November or December of 2019. The lead to that moment, right? You also like from a long story or long form story, like that kicked the shit out of this. Then you look at like, okay, so FTR came in what, like May?
Yeah.
Came into May, get to September, and this is what they produced. And you're like, okay, so maybe that's unfair because Kenny and Hangman have had, all the way since November or December to get to that point. All right. How about Moxley and Kingston? They 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and they shat on this.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, man. I mean, Jericho, MJF shat on that too, or they shat on this too. It's like, I don't know what happened here. I don't know who made y'all do all of this swerving to get this shit into a ditch, but it got into a ditch, and then like they got into a ditch by the time they had attacked Matt Jackson's knee, and they had like a week or two to fix it. And even when seemed like they were trying to fix it, they still couldn't pull it out. And then like you get the match, it's like great match, but it's like you can't tell me, given the work of that match, that like they could have had this same exact fucking match like when they first came to AEW. It would not have been any better. It's the same match.
Yeah, man.
Like that build did nothing for that match. Nothing.
I agree, James.
Like it like feels like it worked itself out of the main event position.
Yeah, that should have been the main event.
I feel, especially with Mox and Kingston being a rematch and only 3 weeks of build, this could have been like the first pay-per-view that was headlined by the tag team titles. And I've said on many podcasts, one of the big mistakes that Ring of Honor made with the Bucks was not putting the Bucks in more main events because they were the most over. The tag titles scene was the most over thing, and they should have been in more main events of the pay-per-views. And this could have been a scenario here where the Bucks could have main evented to win the titles, but the storytelling, the whole build just completely got screwed up, and it was definitely the right call to have Mox and Kingston main event that show.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Off of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So the build?
Yeah. Yeah. So FTR versus Young Bucks, that 4-month build, get the fuck out of here.
All right, so we're at 3 hours, 18 minutes. So I've got 2 questions for you guys. Do we just want to list the rest of the stuff and just let it be? Or do we want to list it and maybe say one thing each about?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot. But before we're done, I think we should all, just so things aren't as negative. 2020 has been a really, really rough year. Maybe to close this out, we say a couple things that we're just thankful for in wrestling, and then, get the fuck out of here.
Literally us. We can get the fuck out of
here. Either way, whatever we decide to do, I think we should do that at the end.
Yeah. So, I guess I can lead us through. So,
but let's not spend too much time on this shit because there's like still like 5 or 6 that we didn't get through.
Let's couple these two together. The handling of Keith Lee and Rhea Ripley this year.
They don't know how to build stars. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, NXT is usually the spot where people get handled correctly, and they botch both these people in NXT, and now we see Keith on the main roster. He's getting botched on the main roster, and, I hope he gets out of this contract in time to, salvage the rest of his career.
Yeah, I think these two have both suffered in different ways. Keith Lee aesthetically, and also Vince not knowing what he has in this guy and just having an old mentality, and Triple H bulldozing Rhea Ripley from literally a year ago today. From everything we talked about with the Charlotte stuff to her being involved with the fucking Robert Stone brand, losing matches left and right, crying, looking weak, just complete like
bullshit.
Just you expect this fuck job on the main roster, not in NXT.
Yeah.
And Keith Lee, they didn't even fucking know what music they want to give him.
He needs to go get
seasoning.
Yeah. James?
Seasoned. He's a seasoned veteran.
He needs more seasoning, pal.
They waited way too late on pulling the trigger on Keith Lee. When they finally did, by the time they finally pulled the trigger on Keith Lee, it was like Vince McMahon is like a child, where it's like, I see somebody playing with a toy. Oh, I want that toy. Like, they finally pulled the trigger on him, and then like literally weeks later, he has to lose and move on to the main roster. And it's like, if you had to do that, don't even bother make him champion. Bring Adam Cole's ass in there and have him go out there and lose his gigantic long reign to Karrion Kross. Rhea, she's well protected still to this day, but the Charlotte thing is just damaging, and like she has nothing left to do on the NXT other than like she still has good matches with other talented people, but like of course she's good and she's in there with other good people. Of course that's what she can do. Like she needs to be on the main roster, given that like there is no Becky, there is no Charlotte right now, and there is no Ronda Rousey right now. Her along with Shayna and Bianca should be the three up-and-comers in that division, and she'd be having feuds with all four of the horsemen when they all come back for the next 3 years. But who knows what the fuck they do?
Yeah,
who knows?
So the next one is Tessa Blanchard, just in general.
She got a strong mind.
I'll just say this, Tessa Blanchard, you're racist. There's receipts for it. Whatever public PR statement you want to put out there. You didn't cop up to what you did. Everybody knows what you did. It's out there. There's the receipts. We got them. We seen them. We heard them. We heard them.
Yeah.
So, just apologize. Stop being a piece of shit. Fuck you.
When I said we heard it, I was talking about the shit audio, literally.
Oh my god.
But
Yikes.
Tessa Blanchard, the walking embodiment of never apologize. The day before she's about to win a world title, she just sends this innocent tweet, which you would think, and then like they came out on her head. I was constantly refreshing my phone. She's much like her dad in the 90s when there's a fucking wrestling war going on. He works himself out of being in either promotion. She has done the same and walked in her father's footsteps. This is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, Tessa Blanchard, I really don't want to see her in any promotion right now. I'm sure eventually one of these promotions will pick her up just because of who she is. But yeah, like you guys have said, like we've seen the receipts, we've heard the stories, we've seen the stories, we've seen people shooting on her.
Yes,
in a battle royal because of stuff she said or her attitude, and so yeah.
Yeah, just
get him, Dr. Joshi.
a person that like has a long way to go to make her way back into this business, and I don't know if she'll ever get there. She did something really terrible in 2017. The shoot thing that broke out in that women's battle royal with Deonna Purrazzo is fucking embarrassing. She got chopped too hard, so then like she decides to like get into a thing where they start going at it, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, come on, man, like you've been chopped before, relax.
They hurt.
The attitude I understand that, but like you get chopped. You chop her back harder. Yep. It turns into a fucking thing where, like, yeah, we separated at 2 different points in the match. It's ridiculous. You slap each other in the face. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Literally.
The NXT, the Mae Young Classic thing where, like, her reputation preceded her. She didn't get, she got eliminated in the first round when she's like one of the 8 best wrestlers in the thing at the time. It's just like, And like, look where she went. Like, she was in Impact. Like, Impact and MLW are like the last. They take the people with all the issues, hoping
Bro, you know
like,
what they're like.
Community college for football.
I was just gonna say that.
I was gonna say like,
Junction, last chance.
They're rehab.
Land of misfit toys.
Yeah, so it's just like, look, I don't think that she's done. I think there's a room for redemption for her. Do I want her to see it? I don't care. But I think it's there for a lot of people that want to see her come back. And like, for those people, like, whatever, I don't care. But it's just this whole thing sucked. And that's really all I have to say about it. Is like, if she comes back, or whether she does or doesn't, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care about her. If she's on if she comes back to whatever wrestling program, I'm going to like that show, whatever percentage less. I don't know what percentage is. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. One more thing about her, Josh, before you go.
All right.
Nope, I forgot. Never mind.
Okay. The less words, the better. It looks like we've only got two things, so let's move on to them quickly. The Lana Lashley Rusev Live wedding. I will say I didn't really watch this, although I was very peripherally aware of what was happening. This is, trash TV. This is Jerry Springer at its finest. Did it pop the ratings? Sure. Was it a perpetual pop? Well, clearly not, because they're doing their lowest ratings that they've ever done in the history. Not the modern history, the full history.
The full history.
Of Raw ever. This was bullshit. It didn't help Lana. It didn't help Lashley. It didn't help Rusev. It didn't help Liv. It didn't help the WWE. This is a Band-Aid to a festering cyst that is WWE. The thing that they did on Liv recently
completely exposed the business.
It exposed everything about what was so problematic about this. This is not why people watch WWE. Much to the contrary, explanations that FDS, believers will tell you, that it's male soap opera. Well, this isn't good soap opera. This is the shit soap opera that nobody really wants to see. It didn't fucking help anybody. Didn't get anybody over. It didn't draw any money. So,
didn't lead to a match.
Yeah, it didn't.
Right.
No, it did. We got that Starrcade match. Remember that Starrcade special between Lashley and Rusev?
No, I do not remember this.
That was before.
Oh, was that before?
They had the match first, and then they did the wedding thing on the last or first Raw of 19 or the first Raw of 20. I can't remember.
Well, thank God for the Hurt Business. Thank God for Tony Khan saving Rusev. And, I don't know. They're putting Lana...
Poor Liv.
Yeah, poor Liv. And, they're putting Lana through a bunch of tables. So I don't know what the fuck this was. Boy, oh boy.
It was a horrible storyline. Like you mentioned, they got nobody over. Rusev didn't get more over. Lana didn't get more over. Liv didn't get more over. Lashley didn't get more over. Horrible storyline that was building to nothing just to try and pop a rating. And, you pretty much said what all there is to say about it.
They brought this woman who had like this look and this connection with the audience. Like what they did was, all right, we're gonna now put you in all black and like strip away like your hair color and turn you into a lesbian and like make it like HLA without the HLA and like completely strip Liv, and Liv's back to doing what she was doing before now. So it's like, how effective was this? It wasn't. It was a shit show. It was a nightmare. And they tried to sneak this in last year thinking that it would not be talked about on the FOH. But
it is.
We got him.
James reminded me of this and sent me audio, the first One Nation Radio of the year from this year, where it was just like, complete disaster, trash TV. Jerry Springer like would look down upon this.
It's horrible.
No, he wouldn't.
Like, god damn, that's classless.
Well,
James,
this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in professional wrestling. And I've seen a lot of bullshit. I don't know if any of y'all saw this or watched it, but I did. And I actually I think I watched it live, and I was like, this is at a time where I would occasionally check in on Raws, whatever. So when this happened, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. This is fucking awful. This is taking forever. This is just, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And it made no sense for any of the characters' choices. It had, I don't want to go into it because I'll be relitigating. Even my opinions on to go to the first One Nation Radio of this year. It's basically it's on the Wrestle Kingdom review from this year. It's the very last thing. Go to the description in the podcast. Click on the timestamp to it. But acting was shitty. Character motivation was shitty. Rusev is like Ray Caruth hiding in the trunk, stepping in a fucking cake. It's just fucking ridiculous. At the end of it, two people that are in love with one woman that's getting married, at the end beat up the woman and also the woman that they're trying to marry. And then the lesbian mistress and the ex-husband hold hands and celebrate together. It's the dumbest fucking thing. It's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Just
straight trash. It happened 4 months ago as opposed to 12 months ago, this would have been rated. This would not have been some honorable mention thing that we're talking about right now. That's how bad this thing was. And I was like, we're still talking about this, even though this happened literally 50 weeks ago. I don't give a fuck. It was awful.
All right, the last thing we have here is LIJ stance. Y'all can get it.
Let's go.
You guys have at it real quick.
Man, these LIJ fans, they have been through a lot, but they've been going a while this year with 2020. They've jumped into our year-end awards and made sure that Naito has won everything. I just don't get it. I get, all right, you're happy your guy has won the double titles and. All right, good for you guys. But literally, coming to the defense of every little thing that Naito does, lifting up this Naito Evil feud as one of the greatest things ever. It's this great story of the former LIJ, his first Pareja, and blah, 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 whatever. Horrible matches, horrible storylines, worst IWGP title reign in history. And I just don't understand, Naito is fine. I don't know. I don't know what all the hype is.
I have this is a thing that I've discovered over the years that I wasn't aware of. Being a fan of Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega and the LIJ folks are in the crosshairs, and
there's heat, pal.
And originally, I guess it was Okada that was in their crosshairs, and then it turned to Kenny. So, I've come across these people, and the stuff that I see them accept out of Naito, and then the stuff that they would get on Okada and Omega for, this shit don't add up at all. You start talking about all these mid-title defenses we saw this year. These 3.5-star matches. These matches where, everybody's just rolling out of the ring. The Dick Togo Garrote wire matches, the just flat out less than having matches that are largely nowhere near 4.5 stars. So I don't know. For me, it's fitting that the most kind of critically panned, least interesting time of New Japan is when LIJ is dominating. Y'all can have that shit.
I feel I'm not really on social media too much the way that everybody else is. My exposure to Twitter is basically through the Keeping It Strong style Twitter, and it's pretty much just to post things. I don't really see what other people see, so I wasn't really aware of how pervasive this fandom really was. And when we did our year-end awards preview, Rich came on, and I thought he was overblowing some of this Naito shit.
Not at all, sir. Hey, hold on. Is this an apology live on the air? I'll take this. Go ahead, Josh. Have at it.
Well, we're gonna do our year-end awards show here in a few days, but I'm pretty sure like Naito won almost everything, which is shocking because when you look at the top 300 cage match rated matches across all promotions, Naito's in 6 of them, which is fine, but then Ishii and Shingo are in 18 and 17 of them.
Hiromu's at like 11. Okada's at like 8.
Right.
Minoru Suzuki's is higher than him too.
And so is Will Ospreay and probably Ibushi and probably Suzuki as well.
Yes, absolutely those two.
Oh, and their favorite, Kenny Omega.
And, here's the thing.
And another Bushiroad, actually 2 Bushiroad employees, Momo Watanabe and Mayu Iwatani. Continue.
The correct Watanabe.
and we can call this LIJ Stanism, but really it's Naito Stanism.
Right.
Because it's like, people aren't going to bat for Shingo like that. People aren't going to bat for Hiromu like that. They like them, but like if they cross...
Like, they cool.
They're cool, but if they cross Naito, fuck them,
Yeah.
It's really mind-boggling.
It's illogical. It's like...
It is illogical because I'm a very logical person and like... it's not 2016 anymore. In 2016, the best wrestler in the world, his name was Tetsuya Naito, and he revolutionized the wrestling world. Well, guess what? It's 2020, and that shit passed.
And he's broke up, and his knees don't work as much. He doesn't look like he goes to the gym anymore. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Something
4 long years.
I'll trade it off to James, but something I heard James say is, he thinks that Naito looks like a guy who uses pro wrestling as his primary workout. And it's true.
Oh my
and it's
gosh.
true. So like, we've never had an awards where I felt like I didn't know who was going to win ahead of time.
I'm sorry. Tetsuya Naito winning the double title is not more important than how New Japan handled COVID-19. I'm sorry.
It's not more important than Liger's retirement. It's not more important than Hiromu
freaking losing the TV deal.
Injury. Yeah, it's not more important than that. It's not more important than Harold resigning as president of the company. Like, it's fucking crazy, bro. We weren't even going to include Naito on our awards, but we felt like we had to just because he was the IWGP champion. And then he ran away with the shit. Ran away with it. It's crazy. Bro, Ishii got robbed.
Robbery.
Yeah. You guys, do better. You're New Japan fans.
No, they're Naito fans.
Yeah, okay, I'll leave with this. For all the people that are like, oh, well, all those Americans, they were elite fans.
Problem.
They were problems. They were elite fans. They weren't real New Japan fans. Well, are you really New Japan fans? Because, there's guys in New Japan that deserve your love, like Ishii.
Shingo.
And Suzuki. And
Hiromu.
Ibushi and Hiromu.
And Okada, how about him?
but y'all love Naito.
Tanahashi, a better version in every single way.
And y'all make allowances for Naito, even though, his reign happened in a pandemic. Well, his reign happened in a pandemic. So that's what happened.
There were a lot of reigns that happened in a pandemic. John Moxley's reign happened in a pandemic, and it was great.
Smoked him.
Drew McIntyre's reign in a pandemic. Mayu Iwatani's in a pandemic. Julia's in a pandemic. I don't want to hear that shit.
Go Shiozaki fucking wrecked Naito this year. Go ahead, James. Close this out.
The thing for me is like I don't know if it's because I'm an Okada guy and I've always sensed this for years that is like. Well, I've noticed it. Like, you go back to the Wrestle Kingdom 12 match, it is like they are begging and dying for Naito to win that match. And it's like, so you mean to tell me, and obviously this goes in line with all of the Okada title reigns where it's like, he ends up in a match, he's a babyface, ultimately throughout the match, like the crowd is dying for this guy that's in the middle of the greatest championship title we've any of them ever seen in their lives to fucking lose, fucking morons. So I'm like, all right, well, fine. Like, the story is for Naito to get to this and win it. Like, they had a great match, but you know what? The match that Okada had literally the night before was better. And then I go to these different sites that rate these things. Oh my God. And then I'm like, okay. I remember saying to Rich in the middle before we even got to the Okada match or the cruiserweight match between, or not cruiserweight, but the junior match between Hiromu and Will Ospreay. It was like these two matches have to hit it out the park for this to be on par with what we've seen out of the normal, dome shows, whatever else. Right. Just as itself. And then Hiromu and Okada and Ospreay go out there, and it was like, I said to myself, holy shit, that's one of the 10 greatest matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yup.
And then Okada and Ibushi top it while not trying to murder each other. In the way that those two just did previously. It's like, I just saw 2 of the 10 greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. Yep. And then I come back to the next show the next day, and I watch them like, that's another great match. It's obviously not as good as Okada's match the night before. Great match though. And then I come back and I see it, and it's like, oh, so because Naito won. And I don't think this match is that much better than the match they had 2 years ago in the Dome. But, I'm sure people disagree. But it's like, so because the outcome changed, it goes from being, some middling 4.5-star match to one of the maybe the best match of the year, according to
one of the greatest matches of all time. It was 9.7 or some shit. I'm like, hold on,
yeah. So I'm just like, nah, bro. This is bugging. And 10 was up the rest of the year, and it kind of has always been there, but even more so because of that. And then you get to the Kenta match in New Beginning, and it wasn't hitting in the way it should have. And then you get to the evil matches and whatever else, and they fucking suck, all of them. And I'm watching that B block, and I'm watching Naito just be good, just good as double champion. Then he teases on, just like, hey man, this dude was a fine champion in a certain context, but compared to Okada, compared to Tanahashi, compared to AJ, this is not to this point. Something's have to turn around to get it up to that point. This is not it. This is not the level that I have been accustomed to seeing out of IWGP champions or even double champions over the past 5 years of watching this promotion.
Absolutely.
This is not. So when I see that he is dominating your award show in a way that someone like Okada or Omega didn't in 2017 or 18, yep, in a way that was maybe they were stealing each other's votes. It was more competitive. I'm sorry, but those two were on another level compared to the rest of the field, and those two were splitting votes, and I can see why neither one of them ran away with it. But Naito isn't even having one of the 5 best years in his company, so what the fuck is going on here?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, we've got 17 topics. We're not even going to touch on the 18th one that Rich just added, which was AEW heels.
Man.
But to these 17 topics that we drafted this time, that can get the
fuck out of here.
All right. You guys want to run through some grateful things and we'll close this shit out?
Yeah, man. So I guess I'm grateful for the wrestlers that took risks this year, and not even inside the ring, but just showing up to their companies to keep going in their way of life as much as they could to try to especially the ones that embraced the challenge and performed well. If you just some average dude showing up, yeah, thank you for showing up too, but I'm talking about the people that showed up and was yo, I'm gonna try to adapt to this format, and I'm gonna still try to be great and give the fans something, to be happy over. So shout out to all the people that were on that 300 match cage match list for sure. And everyone that is in charge of putting shows together, your average cameraman, those people, because they're also we're not thinking about those people a lot of times. So just thank you, to the wrestlers for putting it on the line and not bumping without the adrenaline being there, because that's, I imagine, very tough.
You got anything else, or is that everything for you?
That's me.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm grateful for the Never division in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm grateful for the 4 guys that I think exemplified the top of what constitutes the greatest of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's Minoru Suzuki, Shingo Takagi, Kota Ibushi, and Tomohiro Ishii, who I think is the MVP of New Japan Pro Wrestling this year. them just exemplifying what is the best of New Japan Pro Wrestling in the Never division, as well as the Never Tag Team division, which just literally, the Never Tag Team division was better than the IWGP Double Title division this year, which is fucking crazy.
Incredible.
I'm also thankful for the way that every single wrestling company outside of WWE handled the COVID situation this year. You know, literally to the detriment of their own business, to the detriment of their shareholders, the powers that be, keeping the wrestlers on, making sure that they had a place to work, making sure that they were paid, making sure that, you know, things were good to go for them, that their safety was insured and for their workers and everyone involved. And then finally, for you, the listener, and everybody that's involved with Social Suplex Podcast Network, all my fellow podcasters, all the listeners, you know, we do this as a passion project. God knows we don't make a lot of money from this shit, even though we
got a little bit rolling in.
We do
a tiny bit.
We do have a tiny bit.
Buy the merch. Get your merch.
Though we do have some money rolling in, you know, this is a passion project. It's born out of love, and you guys have stuck with us. Maybe you didn't like some of the things we said tonight, but maybe you've liked a lot of the things we said because we are drunk.
Yeah.
And we're glad you guys are here, and we're going to keep this shit rolling, you know, year after year. This shit's not going anywhere. It's going to get bigger and better, and we appreciate you all, and I appreciate you guys.
So for me, Josh stole what I was gonna say. I'm thankful for both Never divisions and the matches that we got from there. But non-New Japan, I'm thankful for AEW and just their efforts during the pandemic.
Hell yes,
sir.
They've been one of my favorite promotions during this time. Just the way they have adapted to empty arena and using QT's facilities, using Daly's place. And those guys that's showing up is still, for the most part, telling great stories, having great matches in this difficult time, and just using the resources they have to put on great products, put on, you know, Double or Nothing, one of the best pay-per-views of the year, and just some of the stuff they were able to do with a limited roster in the middle of a pandemic, not having to let anybody go. And Dynamite is one of my favorite things to watch every week, and so... yeah, thankful for AEW.
Same.
Oh man. I spent a lot of time on this show and a lot of the year being in grump mode and jaded fan mode because of just feeling like there's something missing in a lot of the wrestling that we're watching that's still good but feeling like something missing. And then the obvious thing is, well, there's no fucking fans, James. Duh. But in spite of that, I want to give special thanks to the people that I felt like busted their ass and killed themselves to get the matches to a feeling where like you just completely forget there's no fans here because these things feel like fights. So I want to give a shout out to Mayu Iwatani, Tam Nakano, Julia, Shuri, the Never division, as you mentioned, the great Never division, the honorable Never division, Kyle O'Reilly, Walter, Ilya Dragunov, Finn Balor. I don't know, or Sho as well. Don't like, look, I know Sho's a junior and Hiromu's a junior, but in Desperado's junior, some of the matches they had this year were just like ridiculous. Like the 2 and 3 of Shingo versus Sho were just great as well. Suzuki, those are the matches that for me, you can put all the theatrics aside of and the storytelling normal wrestling, but they went in the ring and they kicked each other's asses to get these matches over, and that's what I appreciate most out of it, is like the feeling of the thing that would be that feeling of like, I feel like some missed words, like I just felt alive watching the matches. I actually got lost in all of them, so I just want to thank them in particular. I'm sure I'm forgetting other people that kicked each other's ass, like for example, Seedling, like Yoshiko and Arisa Nakajima as well. But yeah, just thank you.
Takumi Iroha.
No, yes, definitely her match with Mayu, her 2 matches with Mayu. Jesus Christ, those are Ass King style matches. Yeah, definitely. I can't believe I forgot Takumi. Yeah.
One last thing is I've endeavored this past year on pursuing wrestling training, which is something I never, ever up until this past pandemic imagine myself doing. And I'd like to just thank like everybody at the Side Dojo, all my training partners, but you guys for that are here on this podcast for supporting me and for, you know, encouraging me to do so. And it's something that like I think I'm like kind of good at. It's kind of crazy. And hopefully one day the listeners will be able to see me perform, hopefully. But it's something that like kind of blows my mind. It's been a crazy year. And I know 2020 has been a struggle for everybody. And I hope 2021 gets better. You know, hopefully like with the you know, vaccine that's rolling out, we can get back to going to wrestling shows, go back to hanging out together. Maybe next year James won't have to be on a conference call with us, and we can do the shit right.
Yeah, man. Because like,
also thank you guys for my. You guys got me a fanny pack, which means I'm a real wrestler now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So shout out to all the listeners and shout out to everybody on this show. We're just gonna keep it going and calling out the cap, telling people to stop the cap, and we're gonna be telling people to get the fuck out of here, like when warranted, and reviewing and analyzing and giving you the best in pro wrestling.
The
coverage.
best,
the best.
brutal,
peligroso.
Bro, we're definitely fucking drunk this year, but this is the most coherent FOH draft we've ever done.
Yeah,
ever. Oh my god! In 4 hours.
Yeah. So
fuck it. It's once a year.
Hey man, so shit, everybody, I guess listening to this show.
Cheers, everybody.
To
James.
Aim it at James.
I'll get y'all next year.
So all y'all can get the fuck out of here.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
These days, we're all getting more screen time, which means we're also getting more blue light exposure than ever before. Too much blue light can make your eyes feel tired, dry, or blurry. It can also affect your sleep. Zenni's Blocks lenses help to protect the eyes by keeping harmful blue light out. Because they're virtually clear, add Blocks to any Zenni frame for stylish, all-day protection. Get a complete pair of prescription or non-prescription Blocks glasses starting at just $24. Protect your eyes now at Zenni.com.
Who are you texting?
My therapist.
You text with your therapist?
Text, video chat, call. Yep.
That sounds too easy. How did you find her?
I just went to betterhelp.com/save. She's a licensed therapist and it's all online. I connect when it's convenient for me and don't waste time driving anywhere. Plus, it's affordable.
I wonder if I should try it.
It's great to talk to someone in confidence. She's helped me sort out quite a few things. And right now you save 10% off the first month when you go through betterhelp.com/save.
betterhelp.com/save. Got it.